I can never know for sure whether when I start streaming unless I have it pulled up because I don't trust this at all. So I'm waiting
That's
for the
fair.
video to pop up to make sure that everything is going according to plan. It says live. Sweet. Alright, mute the stream. And that seems to be it. Alright. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Press any key to begin. So, while I was doing test streams and stuff, Leo informed me that there are some songs that are not in the main story.
In fact, can you hit the W key for me?
Mhm.
Can you go all the way down?
Every song.
Yeah, that one. There you go.
So, we have 2 songs that have... Oh, never mind, we have more than that. Is this
You bought a
spoilers?
whole shop, remember?
Oh, these are the bot songs.
Yeah.
Interesting. I may not do these all then. Oh wait, are
No,
these...
you don't have.
Oh, these are
I
unlocked.
still haven't done these all.
I want to do the...
I still haven't done all of these.
I want to do the other one. The Celeste one.
Yeah, that's the other one I was going to recommend. And can you also hit F for me?
S? F?
F.
F. F does nothing.
F.
S?
Yes.
Sort difficulty
There.
in high school. There we go.
Sort by difficulty.
Alright.
That's how I prefer.
Here are a lot of songs. Am I going from the bottom to top? I think I... Yeah, I was going from the bottom to top. Okay.
You are.
Great.
Yeah. I think the beneath the what is it called? The Celeste song. I think it's 5. I also saw Spot Gaming. You passed it. Love Signal
this-
so far, I think. Yeah, there's a couple Grode remixes. Beyond the Heart, that's it.
There it is. I love Celeste. It's such a good game.
True.
Whenever I'm feeling down, I always boot it up. Oh no, what is this? Oh no, I don't like this.
Not as bad as you'd think.
It's a new mechanic I'm not familiar with.
Tell me if you recognize what this song is from. Like the
Celeste.
level.
Oh, definitely not.
Like the level. Yeah. It's from Farewell.
What level is that?
Level 9.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the hard one.
Damn.
Yeah, very good music.
I miss the soundtrack. I need to listen to it more. Man, that was tough.
Yeah. But you did it.
Yeah, I wouldn't really count it. So, before I was so rudely interrupted, I know that there are at least 2 songs that were in the main menu that were not bought and stuff like that. I don't know how to go back to it. W.
Well, I could tell you what it was, but yeah. It was a Cosmo Gyro. Yeah.
It was...
I think it's a 3.
It was Grode and Cosmo Gyro. So I'm just gonna play these 2 because they are supposedly in the story section of the game, but not part of the main game. So I'm just gonna play these 2.
Yeah, I think this was the tutorial song before it got replaced with a different song.
Is the tutorial song in this menu? I think the next song that shows up is Metroidvania or whatever it was called.
Yeah, you have not unlocked it yet.
Oh, interesting.
You will unlock it eventually. I do believe that that's the easiest song in the game. Even on the hardest difficulty, it's easier than some of the end of story songs. Yeah.
Great.
I think the hardest is like encore difficulty is like a 12, which sounds bad now, but most encores are like 15 plus.
I think I did better than when I did it for the, B. 50, almost 60,000 points better than when I tried it my first time. Sweet. And the last one before we jump into chapter 3 is Cosmo Gyro.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Garl.
Jarl.
Jarl.
Yeah, this one's good too. Not too bad.
I feel like it got significantly worse after you said that. I blame you for this.
Nah.
This is a good song though, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just complimented because you hit a decent combo at a relatively harder part. So.
And then I fail all the easier ones, I guess.
Can't be helped. That is the downside of turning off all of the fail states. It doesn't force you to get better.
I'm not really trying to become a master at rhythm games anyway.
Exactly.
Okay,
This is the only one I care about.
So, before we jump into chapter 3, Leo informed me that this chapter is a lot longer than the first two, and might have to split between multiple streams, at least 2. So, we are not going to complete chapter 3 this time, but we are going to start it and get through what we can.
Yeah, it's theoretically possible that we do. I don't remember exactly how long it is, but I can't say too much without giving things away.
Okay.
So,
good to know. So yeah, let's jump in. Chapter 3.
For a while now, I've been having this dream. In this dream, I'm not whole. I've been torn apart by something I can't quite comprehend, split apart, not organically, but with brute force. I, as I exist, am doomed to the fate of being an observer, unable to interact with what I'm watching, a girl in a lighthouse overlooking a clay doll representation of humanity. While those I observe can move between spaces, I am assigned to this space. All of this is to say, if I am between the binary and ternary, and she is on the binary, what does that make you? Chapter 3. Frosted Memories.
oh, we're so back.
Is this a scream or like a what or a groan? I can't tell.
I guess it's a groan.
I looked up from my phone as Allison walked into the room, slumped over. She walked over and face planted onto the bed I was sitting on. I looked at her inquisitively. What's got you all tuckered out? I leaned over and poked her hair. Sit up, Allie. I can't make out a word you're saying. Allison sat up.
Packing. The same thing we've been doing all day.
Well, speak for yourself. I finished up pretty early, actually.
Yeah, because you don't have anything to pack. All your stuff is still back on home on the island.
Hey, don't fault me for being lightweight to travel. I don't need much to get by. You're the one that had, like, everything shipped from Tanagashima. Allison glanced at me with an unserious, tired expression. My least favorite word. This is silly erasure.
Yeah, and I've realized now how bad of an idea that was. Because now I have to get it all shipped back.
Such is the struggle with a temporary home.
Sure is. How about you? You already packed everything up? She just said she did.
Yeah.
What?
Did it this afternoon.
Well, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, she just said she didn't have much to pack. But
yeah, but she said she already finished packing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
They are... Look, they hit their head really hard on the ferry.
Yeah, did it this afternoon. Didn't really take too long, like I said.
Maybe I should loosen up a little. I'm admittedly a little envious of your single carry-on suitcase.
Well, it certainly makes traveling easier. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss my home back on Tanagashima. So, take that as you will.
Fair enough.
Just then, a rather tall silhouette appeared in the doorway. Hey, Kotomi, what's up?
She is real.
Kotomi walked into the room.
No, she's not. Nothing too much, just making sure you're both ready to be up early tomorrow for the taxi to the airport. Everything all ready?
Yep.
I know you're ready. I know you're ready, Set. I was mainly talking to Allison. Yeah, just finished up. All the stuff that's getting shipped back is in boxes by the front door, and my suitcases are in my room. Cool, cool. Ari and I also finished packing. Don't stay up too late. We've got to be up at 8 a.m. sharp tomorrow.
You got it. Kotomi left the room and closed the door behind her, leaving Allison and I in the light of the dim desktop lamp on the dresser. Allison looked over at my phone in my hand.
What were you doing?
I turned the phone to reveal the game I'd been playing. Putting in some grind on Noise's Sunlight. Just trying to clear that Chapter 5 update that just came out.
Is that a G?
What?
In sunlight.
No, it's a V. But it's one of those legally distinct games.
Gotcha. I've
It's
never heard of this
another
one.
indie game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hadn't either, but it's got some crossover songs in this game.
Oh, cool.
Allison gives a lighthearted chuckle.
Oh, I should have known.
I felt a light impact against my side and looked over to see Allison resting her head on my shoulder. I gave her a teasing smile. You want to rest your head on my lap? Allison moved away from me, flustered.
What? I wasn't. I just was like.
You want to rest your head on my lap? Allison buried her face in her knees.
Yeah.
I put my legs down off the bed and let Allison lay down on my lap. I looked down at her, still flustered, with her eyes closed. Hey, you can't fall asleep there, you know.
You can't stop me.
I can revoke your lap privileges.
But you won't.
I laughed softly. Yeah, you're right. I guess you're the Sleeping Beauty then, huh? Allison opened her eyes.
If that makes you my prince, I'd say I've got pretty lucky.
Why is this girl the literal cutest human being alive? Oh my gosh.
Who? Was that too far? Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just not ready for that. An awkwardly long silence passes. Hey, I wanted to ask, are you okay? You seem kind of out of it all day.
I guess you do know me too well for that to go unnoticed, huh? I guess it's not so much that I'm out of it, and more so that it really feels like this time, short as it was coming to an end. It's been 3 months since the stuff that happened at the shrine, and I guess I just got too used to things actually having calmed down. Because once we step foot in Tokyo, we're back in the case, and anything could happen. I'm scared, but more selfishly, I'm going to miss these few months. Even if they weren't easy, it really felt like this was a major change for my life for the better, you know? Sorry, I shouldn't dump all this on you.
Aw, Allie, it's okay. I understand completely. To be honest, I'm kind of in the same boat. My life already took such a monumental turn earlier in the year, and it really feels like we're about to take another one, doesn't it? But I think you and I both know that this is something we gotta do. It's not like either of us to go through all that and just walk away.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's still scary, you know?
Yeah, of course. But we're not facing this alone anymore. Neither of us are.
You're right, as always. It's always going to be scary, but we'll press on anyway, right?
Always. That's just how we roll.
Yeah.
We went silent for a while before I inevitably had to get Allison off of my lap so I could move into bed. Yeah, I'm not doing this because I want to be a hero. Looking back, it feels so foolish that I was worried about that. It's been so long since all of this began, and it doesn't even feel like this is connected to Suki anymore. But I still need to see this through anyway. And if there's something awful waiting for me at the end of this, I'll face it head first, together with those I love. It was about a 2-hour drive from Minamiyasumi to the Kagoshima airport. Luckily, the weather wasn't particularly bad, so most of the drive was scenic. Ari and Kotomi had taken a different cab, which left just Allison in the one I was in. About halfway through the drive, I got a text from Ari.
So I got everyone on their own burner phone for for while we're in Tokyo.
Why?
We're driving head first into the situation that injured Saturday, and we now know that there's at least some kind of organization with actual power involved in all this. I want at the very least for us to have some kind of protective measure here. I agree with Ari. Whatever group is involved with all this, without a doubt, knows we've been poking around. The more we can do to keep ourselves untraceable, the better.
Wait, but wouldn't they be able to track this conversation if that's the case? Why are we talking about this in a group chat then, lol?
Wait, yeah, Saturday has a point. They can technically track this conversation, yes, but they won't actually be able to get the numbers of the phones from this alone.
Ah. Okay, I got you.
I've given Kotomi hers, and I'll give you 2 yours once we arrive at the airport. Just letting you know in advance to save explaining it in a crowded space. That makes sense to me? Thanks, Ari. Yeah, no problem.
I put away my phone and looked out the window. We were passing through Taramizu. The ride was relatively quiet after that, with the occasional light talk between Allison and I. Eventually, the two taxicabs met up at the Kagoshima airport.
Airport, sweet airport! Here we are!
No, I am not letting you do that again.
Party pooper.
Kotomi laughed.
I'm still not used to you two actually getting along, you know. Harry, you hated Saturday's guts just a few months ago. Hey, I never hated her. I just had a strong idea of what she was like in my mind.
You know they say not to judge a book by its cover, right?
Being fair, the only part of the book I had was the cover, and when the cover involves that much ranch, it's easy to assume that what the book is about.
I'm not following along with this metaphor, sorry.
Of course you aren't.
I love the ranch incident. Allison and Kotomi chuckled, and we moved off the taxicab drop-off area into the actual airport building.
Do you ever find out what it was?
Somewhat.
What the ranch incident was?
Yeah, I think it's largely a play on the noodle incident from Calvin and Hobbes, where it's like, you don't know, but it's pretty obvious. And, you know, whatever you're thinking of, it's worse.
I'm just thinking of like at first I thought it was like a cowboy ranch type thing, but she just made it sound like it was a ranch dressing.
Yeah, well, the first time she mentioned it, she said, when my sister comes home covered in that much ranch, I know something's wrong.
Fair enough.
Or something to... By the time we got through security, it was afternoon.
What gate are we again?
Allison reached into her pocket to check her boarding pass.
Gate 37, looks like. So that's down that way.
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to ride the Movator.
The what?
That. The Movator. Right there.
I pointed at the treadmill-like thing on the ground.
That moving walkway?
Yeah, the Movator.
No, nobody calls it a movator. Wait, you guys have never heard it called a movator? I have never heard it called a movator.
It's a Movator. Like an escalator, but it moves you. Movator.
An escalator also moves you. When I lived in Canada, people called it a movator. Well, this isn't Canada, is it?
That doesn't make it any less of a Movator.
I hope you realize the time you've been arguing, you would have reached the end of the movator.
Look at her face.
Look at Kotomi's face.
I see it.
I'm going on the movator.
This is my favorite
Then
scene in the game.
go! Nobody's stopping you.
Okay.
I walked over to the movator and slid across it. Harry, Kotomi, and Allison stood still the entire time it stared at me. It was a miserable experience. After we reached the gate, Harry handed us our burner phones. They were really old, the kind of phone that had an actual numpad on it.
When are these from? 2008?
Well, you know what they say. The best way to go unseen is to go retro. No, nobody says that. I said it.
Hey, that's my bit.
Anyway, we each one of us has numbers on the other 3 in the contacts already. I've used your initials as well, just for the extra measure.
Isn't this going a bit overboard? Like, yeah, it's good to be cautious, but this feels like bordering on paranoia.
I don't mean to be blunt, Saturday, but do you want to injure your other leg? You know by now the danger of what you're dealing with. Is your leg permanently injured, or is it just better now?
Yeah, well, it took 3 months.
Yeah, fair enough.
I assume it's better.
Yeah, but no, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Harry seemed a little taken aback, as if she wasn't expecting me to actually change my position.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab some snacks for the flight. Konami, come with me. What? Do I have to? Yes. Alice and Saturday, do you two want anything? Uh, hmm. Any bag of chips should be fine. What about you, Sat?
If you could find me one, a flaming hot Mountain View. I've kind of become hooked on those.
That shit's bad for you.
What isn't in this economy?
I'll look anyway. We'll be back shortly.
The return of the spicy soda.
This time she
Harry walked off.
asked Aerie for one. Why didn't she do it on the ferry?
Because she hadn't tried it yet.
Fair enough.
Harry walked off, with Kotomi slouching behind, clearly not amused.
I guess we should take a seat.
It didn't look like it was going to be a very packed flight, so there were plenty of open seats for us to sit in while we waited to board. We took a seat and waited for Ari and Kotomi to come back. I got so distracted by what was happening inside the bounce that I dropped my combo.
Oh man, not even an S plus? That's gonna bump my rating down quite a bit. God damn it.
I couldn't really complain though. I put away my tablet and rewinded the feed that was displayed on my monitor.
Burner phones, huh? I could probably make that work.
I spun my chair a bit to the left to focus on one of the other monitors. As much as I hated to admit it, I was actually starting to get used to this little space I'd set up. It's a little ironic when you think about it, but I'm the one pushing Saturday toward the truth, but I found peace in this little hideout that exists outside of the narrative.
Aha! Got the number of Saturday's phone.
Now that I had this, I had to figure out a way to actually put it to use without triggering error detection, and ideally without the World Keeper catching on. I didn't know where she was or what she was doing at the moment, but as long as she wasn't here, I should be good.
You'll be fine. We're on equal playing ground. She can't spy on me, and I can't spy on her.
I pulled my whiteboard around towards my desk and got to work. For a while now, I've been stuck in this dream, watching, waiting. Eventually, I got sick of it. That's when I became aware of your existence. At first, I thought you were an anomaly, a being that had somehow entered this world from above. But after a while, I realized that was incorrect.
How far are you in Umineko?
Chapter 2. We haven't got to the end of the, What's her name? What's the maid? I think we're still her POV.
Okay, never mind then.
You are not an anomaly, or even a being. You are a world. You were the catalyst for my determination. And finally, we are ever so close to the breaking point because of you. Before we continue, I wish to thank you for that, and to apologize. Everything I've engineered was for this moment, and that required keeping you in the dark. As we approach the end of this accumulation of cycles, I would like to finally show you everything that has led to this point, the extent of our struggle. The truth about the vivid stasis operation.
Episode 17, the temporal gate. The group gets ready to fly to Tokyo. Alright.
Yep.
A? What? You?
Some kind of upside down, eh?
Alright.
Maybe it's like a little rabbit? I don't know. So what are your thoughts so far?
I don't understand. I don't know what to take of, what to do with Dawn. I don't really know what she's doing. I'm kind of confused by her whole existence at this point.
That's true. She's a bit confusing.
That was short.
Never.
Never mind.
It might not be done yet. There's a max points in the top right of 1,100,000. So you're probably going to average around, just going by what's happened so far, 800,000. So if you're at like 300,000, you're probably not done, unless you missed a lot of notes.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it was short, because I looked up and said, oh, it's only 3,000. That's shorter than the other ones.
I've never got a perfect score. It's really hard.
On anyone? Not even Grode or whatever?
No. I've been very close on Macropolis. I'm less than 100 points off. Or 1,000 points. There's no achievement for it or anything.
Good.
I've done lots of full clears. I've done a couple all criticals, but you don't have to. Like, all critical is the. Like, you see how you're getting greats and goods and stuff? Yeah. And it says AC at the top. If every note's like that, you're probably going to get, like.
Is
I don't know, 1,500,000?
Is that not. If getting all critical is not the perfect. What? How?
No, it is not, because you have 40 milliseconds of leeway. So you can be 39 milliseconds off and still get it all critical.
Weird.
But you lose 39 points for that.
I don't like that.
Yeah. It is very hard.
Angel's Window. Level 2, yeah.
Do I know this one? Kind of.
But Dawn's existence reminds me a lot of Umi Neko. That's why I was asking you how far you were.
Yeah. One of the witches, I assume?
Yep. Or just,
yeah.
just the concept of the witches in general. Once the killing in Chapter 2 starts happening, you'll see what I mean. It just kind of feels like they're kind of outside the game watching it.
Yeah.
You kind of saw it with the Tea Party, but it's kind of like that.
That's true. What about that other voice? Any thoughts on that?
Is it not Suki?
No, in this game.
Yeah, Suki.
Oh. I mean, that's a theory.
Wasn't it confirmed to be Suki last time?
No, I mean the one that was talking at the end of what we just did. The one that was going to talk about the Vivid Stasis operation.
That's a voice? I thought it was the narrator Saturday. Crap. Oops.
And yeah, you don't have too much to go off of.
Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed that was Saturday after all this is done. Being a
That makes
narrator.
sense. Then why did they say stuff like, oh, the time has almost come, we're going to end all the cycles?
I guess it could be like the AI of Sunrise Foundation, but I don't know. Like a Siri type thing of like a doomsday call.
There are no wrong theories. Except for Saturday hitting her head too hard on the parry. Not too shabby.
Whoa, wait, what? I think that's my first time getting an A.
I think you've gotten at least one other.
I don't think so. I think my highest is B. Crested Arrival. Chio welcomes the group to Tokyo at her apartment. But how big is this group?
Well, it's 5 letters, so it has to be 5 people.
No. Nah.
By the time our plane landed, it was well into the evening. And being winter, that means it was dark the moment we stepped off the plane.
Ah, Jesus, cold.
You literally just sat in a heated tube for a few hours. I'm not surprised you're cold. Do you need my jacket?
I mean, if you're offering, then
Yeah, figured. Here.
Allison walked over to me and handed me her jacket. I wrapped it around myself. I would never find myself admitting it to her, but I wasn't really that cold.
Sprite change?
I just like wearing Allison's coat. Started to walk forward towards the exit to the luggage claim, but Allison stopped me.
No, doesn't seem like it. Are you forgetting about the other half of our group? Come on, let's wait for them.
oh shit, you're so right. It totally slipped my mind.
How the hell did it slip you? I think the last few months of doing absolutely nothing have made you even denser, actually.
I laughed, and we leaned against the glass wall with our carry-on bags. Indeed, it had been months. Many months of resting. Not so much while waiting for my leg to heal up, as the wound had mostly sealed up about as well as it was going to within the first month. Instead, we had to spend most of the time working just to get the funds to make the very trip we had just begun. We'd spent day after day, week after week, and month after month, saving up just enough to allow us a month in Tokyo. All of us figured that would be enough time to accomplish whatever it was that we were about to accomplish here. I found myself wondering what the next month would have in store for us. After the commotion that was the first few days in Miyazumi, the topic of what had happened was tread around very carefully. Nobody knew what to say for a while. Eventually, though, we all agreed that spending some time in Tokyo would be beneficial to all of us, both for the reason of giving us something to take our minds off of everything that had happened, and also to do some further investigation into that very same everything.
Why was it 3 months if they think... No, never mind. I think
They had to work for
misunderstood.
2 months to make enough money to live in Tokyo for 1 month.
Okay, gotcha.
So- Sunrise Foundation was a name that came up a lot back in those awful days in August. And the fact that nobody could quite remember or explain what it was, but knew that it was related to whatever was going on enough to warrant our curiosity, that commas, please. And the fact that nobody could quite remember or explain what it was, but knew that it was related to whatever was going on was enough to warrant our curiosity to get to the better of us. And since their website said they seemed to be based in Tokyo, it only made sense for us to spend some time out east. After a while, the shock of missing Suki vanished in a way that didn't entirely feel right. Almost like I was more used to not having her around than I was used to her being a part of my life. And then that in itself became a source of anxiety for a while. Luckily, Allison helped me through many panic attacks, and they calmed down with time. Allison, I genuinely don't think I could ask for a better person in my life. Even when I'm thinking this to myself, it sounds cheesy as all hell, but it's how I truly feel. Even though we said we wouldn't date until after everything had calmed down, my overwhelming feelings of love for her never got any weaker. That's not to say Allison and I didn't have any romantic interactions at all over these past few months. It's more like we're waiting to make it official. Of course, everyone else already realized long before we told them. Yuri even said that she didn't know we weren't a couple until after the Geology Museum incident way back in July.
She met them one time. Fair enough.
I guess probably what she heard from Kodami or something.
Well,
But when I'm with her, I genuinely feel like I could overcome anything that's thrown at me. It's even more than that. I just know I can. In a way, it feels like it's already happened, time and time again. And yet,
wakey wakey, eggs and bakey Saturday.
Huh?
Jet lag getting to you, bestie? I wasn't even that long of a flight.
I looked up to see the ever opposite sisters. I guess they had caught up to us while I was deep in thought.
Hey, shut up. I had an energy drink at the start of the flight.
Aren't those supposed to keep you awake?
Well, yeah, I have a weird brain. Caffeine is just a knockout drug for me.
It's true. I can back this up.
Oh god, she can back this up.
Allison looked over at me.
Yeah, ADHD be like that.
So, have you heard from Chio about her current whereabouts yet? She's supposed to be picking us up here.
Oh, yeah. She said she'll be right outside the baggage claim by like 8:30.
You best get going then. Come on.
Kodami sprinted down the long passageway leading to the baggage claim. The remaining three of us looked at her defeatedly.
It's still 8:20.
Regardless, we ran after her. Better to be early than late, probably. It turns out Kodami might have been right to run, as all of us severely underestimated the size of the airport. In the end, however, we managed to make it in time. The baggage claim was just before the exit, so after we got our bags checked, we stood outside and waited for a few minutes. Eventually, a taxi pulled up with a familiar-looking girl sitting inside.
Hey, there she is! Chio!
Saturday! Allison! Eri! And, you're... Kodami. Najibitsu. Eri's sister. Oh, you're Kodami! Nice to finally meet you! I'm Chiro Sakamura. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway! Chio, what's with the taxi? Didn't feel like driving out here?
Saturday? I don't have a driver's license. Or a car. I'm a very strong public transport advocate. I thought you told you this.
What? No, you totally didn't.
She totally did. She did. It's literally so recent that you can see it in your message without scrolling.
You guys are no fun.
Chio laughed.
Anyway, my place is pretty close to here, but the bus doesn't run at a reasonable enough rate for me to be here on this time, so I took a taxi. Speaking of which, we should probably not keep them waiting. Good point, Sat. Give me your suitcase, and I'll put it in the back of mine.
I nodded and rolled my suitcase over to the back of the taxi. Allison opened up the trunk and slid our bags in together. Despite her relatively short appearance, she was much stronger than I was, but that isn't exactly a hard bar to pass. I sat down in the back seat, and the other three slid in beside me. It was the tightest fit I'd ever been in my entire life, and being squished next to the person I was madly in love with made the ride a whole lot more awkward than it probably should have been. Luckily, it was only about a 35-minute drive from Tokyo International Airport to Chio's apartment in Ikebukuro. Which, to be honest, is 35 minutes longer than I would have liked it to be, but it could have been a whole lot worse. Chio's apartment was part of a small 3-story condo. Luckily, there were a few extra rooms that Chio usually used as office space that she prepared mattresses in. Ari and Kotomi got one room, and Allison and I got the other, which was fine by both of us.
Oh, did I finish setting up all your stuff? Did you finish setting up all your stuff?
Yeah, not like there was much to set up. All we had was the stuff in our carry-on bags.
That's fair. Where is Allison and Ari? I think both of them were in their rooms. We had to get up early to pack our flight, so it makes sense that at least some of us would be exhausted. You guys aren't, though.
I'm nocturnal. There are times where this is about the time of day I wake up.
Oh. Oh, I see. That doesn't sound healthy, but I'm not your caretaker, so I won't pry.
Appreciated. My sleep schedule is already enough of a hassle.
You guys want to sit down in the living room and chat for a bit? I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, Kotomi. Sure. I'm assuming you'll still be up for a bit too, right, Saturday?
Yeah, of course. I'll join you guys in a minute. Let me just go check on Allison first.
Sure thing.
Chio and Kotomi walked down the short hallway to the living room, and I started walking up the stairs to the bedrooms that Chio was letting us stay in. I slowly opened the door to the room Allison and I were staying in. Sure enough, Allison lay inside, passed out cold. I backed out of the room slowly, but then I heard a soft voice from below me.
Saturday?
I looked back, and Allison had one of her eyes open, looking at me.
What's up, Allie?
Can you do me a solid and fill up that glass with water? I don't have the energy to get up and I don't do it myself right now.
She pointed at an empty glass on the nightstand beside our bed. I laughed.
Of course I can. Hold tight.
I grabbed the glass and walked over to the adjacent bathroom and filled it up with water. Then I brought it back to the bedside and leaned down to place it on the nightstand.
Thanks, Sato. Love you.
I was so caught off guard by Allie's sleep talking, I don't even think she realized what she was saying and would probably forget by the morning. I regained my composure and smiled, and then hesitated for a second before I left the room.
Love you too, Allie. Get some rest, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Closing the door, I stood in the hallway for a solid few minutes to wait for myself to stop blushing before I went back downstairs. These dorks. Chio, Kotomi, and I sat in the living room for the next half hour, talking about how life had been the past few months. I felt this sense of familiarity. Familiarity?
Familial.
Familiarity?
I think it's familial.
Yeah, but there's a T at the end.
Yeah.
I don't get enough for this. Growing up, I had always been the loner aside from the few friends I'd had. And even then, aside from Allison, none of my friends felt super close to me, in a sense. But now, I felt like I'd really found the people I loved, and I would do anything to protect. Soon enough, Kotomi went to bed, and Chio followed. I sat in the living room alone for a few minutes before retiring for the night myself. We had agreed to spend a few days out enjoying the city before doing any kind of thinking about the Sunrise Foundation, and I didn't want to be even remotely tired for that. I'd wanted to go to Tokyo for a long time, and I wasn't about to pass up the chance I'd been given. Huh. Wait, what? Didn't I live in Tokyo at one point?
I like BPM.
Freedom of the soul. Saturday, Allison spend a lot of time in Tokyo. It's weird that it's only those two.
Any
Simulated
theories about that?
I think that's the first time they mentioned Kotomi in the summary thing. The only other kind of time was the trio, but Eri was also there, so I kind of brushed that off. But I guess that kind of debunks my Kotomi isn't real theory, and that friends thing was just a typo. Sad.
Your theory is like sand. It's falling through your fingers.
Theories are made to be disproven.
This is true. Unless they're not, and they're confirmed.
No, then it wouldn't be a theory, then it's a fact.
Not if you don't know. You can make a theory and then the theory is correct. It becomes a fact.
Yeah. Oh, I let go. Okay. Let's see here. I kind of wish we got to see the conversation with Chio and Kotomi, because Kotomi has not had much screen time in general, which is part of the reason why I thought she was not really a real character. She was kind of absent for all of chapter 2, and was only there for a few scenes in chapter 1 due to being the last friend they met up with and the fire knocking her out. So I felt like we didn't get too much time with her, and I kind of wish we got to see her and Chio interact a bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep, she'll be sticking around for a while. I think we'll get a solo scene with her sometime soon.
Oh, it changes point of view at some point?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think there's a chapter where it's just Saturday, just Allison, and just Kotomi.
Oh, cool. No Eri? Is Eri real?
I don't think so. Must not be.
So Eri's the fake one. Gotcha. I knew there was a fake sister. No Chio either? I mean, Chio isn't like an original character, so that makes a bit more sense, but still.
Yeah.
How many chapters does this game have? 8?
I think so. I could be wrong.
So is it
They're
whole,
adding a side story soon.
a side story? Ooh, fun.
Yeah, chapter
Any
alpha.
any like
I can't get too much
canonicity?
into it because spoilers.
Any canonicity?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it is. You don't need it to know anything, but it's referenced at a certain point in the story, and it's about that.
Interesting.
When we get to that point, I don't even know if it's this chapter. I think it's way later. But I'll call it out then.
Alright, sounds like a plan. It's odd that some of the main characters get perspectives and some don't, though.
Yeah, I think it's just for one chapter.
Yeah, I figured it was only for one chapter, but it was still that. Is it like one episode thing? Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, like an episode.
Oh, okay. So it's not. I think I'm getting my terminology confused. Is it like chapters 1, 2, and 3, or is it the things that we just saw, the little scene things?
Yeah, like a little scene.
Oh, okay.
I need to be more precise.
No, it's a visual novel's fault. Umineko calls everything episodes, and I'm just getting everything confused.
We need standardization.
We do. I was hoping to have all chapter 5 be Allison or something. Drats.
Yeah. The later you go, there are different like perspective shifts. It's not ridiculously rare, but it's usually just like if people split up for whatever reason.
Yeah, that feels about right. That was pretty rough. Singularity.
Yeah. What is a 7, I think? Apparently the song's by Jorts. I do not recognize this song.
Did you play every song in the main story?
Yeah. I did exactly what you're doing now. I
Alright.
would just play every song before going to the next story chapter.
Did you do the bypass mode thing?
No.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't think it was in the game when I played.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might have been the case when you first recommended it to me, and why I never got bounced back into it. When I first played, the only scene I saw was that police scene with Saturday and Airy, and I thought it was really cute, but I could never get past the songs.
Yeah. Well, in the story mode, normally, you can't fail songs. You can only fail if you turn on a harder, like, option. Like, normally you can add a fail bar and you'll get more points and batteries and stuff.
Then it could have
And then the
very
boss
well
songs.
Then it could have very well just been my perfectionism.
That is also valid. Yeah. I only have 2 achievements left, but they're both pretty hard. So I'll get them eventually, but it'll probably be a while. Neither story related, even though one's technically marked as a spoiler.
I saw one that was like get S plus or something, and I'm like, I'm never getting that achievement ever.
No, it's not that bad. I don't even think you need to full clear to get an S plus. Yeah, so basically, there's a rating system, and your rating is basically the top 30 songs that you've played. It averages the difficulty, and then does some other weird math stuff with your score.
Interesting.
And that's your user rank. One of the achievements is get a user rank of 13, which means I would have to beat a lot of 13 difficulty songs or higher.
Oh, I thought it meant like the 13 best in the world. Become the 13 best player in the world.
No. Fortunately not. And then the last achievement is just beat the final course in course mode. But that one's all like 14 plus difficulty. So
Stupid cat.
I love this song. This song makes me happy. It's not the best, but I like it.
Oh darn it.
Yeah, if you let go of a hold note too early, you can repress. If you do it fast enough, you don't even lose your combo.
Yeah, that was alright. It was pretty
Yeah.
good. Alright.
Very groovy.
Freedom of the Soul. Saturday and Allison spend time in Tokyo. Interesting.
Though it was already our second day in Tokyo, it was our first chance to actually go out and explore a bit. We'd spent the entirety of the 17th recovering from jet lag and general exhaustion from packing up everything and moving it out of our temporary home in Kagoshima. Though it wasn't until today that we actually had the chance to get out of Ikebukuro.
Ikebukuro Station! Wow, so this is what a subway station in the big city looks like.
It's not that different from the ones down south. We just never ride the metro line.
Sure it is. It's all in the vibes. And as a certified vibes expert, I proclaim that the vibes here are totally different.
How are you making that sound with your mouth?
Konami laughed.
After a while, I learned to stop questioning it. I'm surprised you haven't, Allie. You've known her for way longer than I have. There are some things about this nature of reality I haven't come to terms with yet.
Konami walked over to one of the automated kiosks and printed 3 tickets, one for each of us. It was just Konami, Ali, and I today. Ari and Chio had stayed back at the apartment to go over the facts of the case once more. I would have liked to stay with them, but I can admit that my energy might be a bit of a hindrance for someone trying to think through something intellectually. it was probably best to let the detective do the work. So Kotomi, Ali, and I grouped up and decided to take the Yurakucho line to Chuo to check out the Ginza shopping district.
As you do.
Kotomi walked back and handed us our tickets.
This is only valid for one trip. We'll get longer tickets on the other side. Got it.
Kotomi scanned our tickets for us, and we walked through. The ride to Ginza Ichome Station was about half an hour. The train we were on was decorated with lots of cute advertisements and decorations.
Wow, this could be the future of public transportation.
These are all things we have on the other metro line Saturday. You just always take the bus.
I glared at her jokingly.
You're ruining my whimsical sense of discovery. That's bad vibes, Allie.
Allison sighed, but chuckled. Though the ride was uneventful, just looking out and seeing the sights of the capital of Japan as we rode through Bunkyo and Chiyoda made the ride feel like the gift of a lifetime for me. I was never really partial to the nature vibes of Tanegashima, even if I missed it a little having been away for so long. Even despite that, I often felt myself forgetting I had lived on Tanegashima in the first place. It was probably natural after not living there for a few months, but it felt a little unnatural, like the fact of living there in the first place wasn't right. But I shook the thought from my mind. Stepping out of the station, Kotomi pulled out her phone for directions.
Here you are. We can split it from here and make sure to keep in contact through text. At the absolute latest, let's meet back at the station by 4:30. Yeah?
Sounds good. Where are you two going?
I'm going to Ginza 6. I've heard a lot about it for a while and want to check it out. How about you? I'll probably just wander around the streets for a bit. It's not often you get a chance to wander around Tokyo. What are you gonna do Saturday?
I'm gonna take a taxi up to Akihabara. More my kind of vibe.
That's pretty far out. Should I come with you?
I mean, if you want to, but I know how to use a taxi system.
And she was never seen again because she did not know how to use the taxi system. Allison seemed to contemplate it for a second, but thought it would be better to just trust me, which I appreciated.
Okay. Just text if something happens, alright?
Yep, will do.
The three of us split up, each exploring the big city in the way that appealed most to us. Despite the rough circumstances that led us here, the chance for a trip to the capital isn't worth wasting. Ari and Chio could discuss them at home, but we were all more than willing to take a much-needed breather. Immediately after stepping out of Akihabara Station, I was assaulted but with a wave of sound. It made sense after all. Akiba was the biggest electronic district of Tokyo, covered in head-to-toe, or floor-to-ceiling, with anime and video game merchandise.
Holy shit, this is insane!
Of course, my excitement and adoration tripled once I actually reached the main strip of Akihabara. Even though its full glory shone in the night hours when the streets were all illuminated by the neon glow of buildings from all angles, the sheer size of everything made my jaw drop. Buildings were adorned in signs in all possible positions, and even the characters on the signs seemed to be fighting for space just to say everything that the sign wanted to say. It was truly an information overload, and of course, I felt right at home in the midst of this. I walked around in the radio building for a while, looking at every single one of the merch items that adorned each of the floors. After spending an hour here alone, and realizing that I was only on the third of 10 floors, I forced myself to walk back out for my own good. I ended up spending most of my time at the Game Station arcade. I didn't often get a chance to visit arcades, with them being less common in the Southwest and straight up non-existent in Tanegashima.
Yes! Finally got an S on a 10. Let's go!
I spent the following hour and a half trying a bunch of new rhythm and fighting games I never got the chance to try, and falling in love with a whole ton of new games all over again.
That's what Kanji Super does? How is that blockable?
all. I'd known it for a while, but hanging out in Akiba has settled it. I'm definitely moving to Tokyo once all of this is over. Kotomi was walking through Ginza, looking around at all of the towering shopping centers around her. Of course, a trip out to Ginza was little more than a sightseeing trip for her. She and Eri were never particularly wealthy, and that held even more true now that they were running on limited funds that had been amassed during their months of working at a random grocery store in Kagoshima. That's you.
Oh, it is? Oh, I thought it was thinking inner thoughts. Honestly, I'm glad that nightmare is over. Never send me back to retail again.
Yeah, but it's Kotomi's inner thoughts this time. That's why.
Should I
Prompted
take
you.
the narration then?
No, for a certain reason.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can get spoken dialogue and blue text.
Alright.
And I think there'll be like a minor character that I'll take just so you're not having a conversation with yourself.
Okay.
The extravagant atmosphere of everything related to Tokyo, but especially Ginza, served as a sort of reminder for Kotomi, a reminder of a fancier world that existed beyond what she'd lived up to that point, being stuck on Tanegashima her whole life. Not to say she wanted to be super rich or anything naive like that, but Kotomi had a habit of letting others trample all over her for the sake of her own success, and you don't really make it anywhere in life if you don't learn to have the care and love for yourself as well. Kotomi stepped foot in front of a video game merch store, which weren't particularly common in Ginza.
Did I accidentally walk all the way to Akiba by mistake? Well, whatever.
She wasn't really one for that kind of childish entertainment, as she saw it, but decided to take a look inside anyway. The store wasn't nearly as big as the large expensive department stores that make Ginza what it was, but instead, a humble one-story installation into a larger shopping complex. Kotomi browsed the aisles for a little while as she looked at titles of video games she'd never heard of.
Oh, Xenostrike Legends. I think Saturday told me about this one.
Though she'd never say it to her face, at least not for a while, Kotomi envied Saturday in a way. Saturday had the kind of freedom and energy that most people envied once they hit their 20s, and although Saturday would turn 20 next July, Kotomi didn't doubt for a second that that energy would stick around for a long while. There was a little demo kiosk for a game console at the back of the store, and a couch set up to imitate a little gaming lounge. So for once in her life, Kotomi decided to enjoy a bit of the youth she thought she didn't have anymore, and ended up spending 2 hours in the store trying all of the different games. The owner of the store, a surprisingly older-looking woman, seemed to get great enjoyment from watching Kotomi try for hours to break all of the scores and see as much of each of the games available as she could on the limited demo kiosk. When her lunch break came, she decided to go and sit down next to Kotomi on the couch.
You sure are having fun here. It's not often you people spending a lot of time at a game store in this part of the city.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess. It's been, what, 10 minutes? I'm sorry if I'm hogging the machine or something.
The storekeeper laughed and leaned back into the couch cushions.
It's been an hour and a half, actually. But it's okay. Nobody else really comes by for that long, and I especially don't see people using this old thing.
Old thing? This is like a preview kiosk for some upcoming console, right?
Maybe if you're living in the year 2011. The Wii U died out due to poor sales back in 2016. But it still holds a special place in my heart, so I keep the demo kiosk up anyway.
Huh. I had no idea. I, don't play video games that often.
Really? The way you were crushing all those scores, I thought you were a seasoned pro. I thought a seasoned pro had walked into my shop. You were having the time of your life.
Kotomi laughed, seemingly flustered.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a huge gamer or anything. I don't really have time for that kind of, you know, younger entertainment.
The storekeeper let out a large chuckle you might hear from someone's grandmother.
Who says video games are for the younger folk anyway? I mean, look at me. Hit my 50s ages ago, and I'm still here running this little shack.
Huh. I don't think I ever really thought about it that way.
I remember being a young adult. You grow up and you think that's that. Your youthful days are over, and now you're an all-serious adult who has to work a 9 to 5 and never think about anything else. Ah, as if. Your youthful energy only sticks with you as long as you let it.
Kotomi didn't have a good response to that, but she knew the woman was right. Oftentimes, she found herself getting caught up in the bittersweet trap called nostalgia, regretting that her days of freedom were gone. But the truth is, if you keep yourself in the good memories of the past, you can never make more good memories in the present or future. The storekeeper stood up.
You know, this thing was a commercial failure almost a decade ago, but I still have some for sale in the storeroom. This is just my personal recommendation, but I think it's a great little console for trying out new things. Never had an overwhelmingly large game library. Nobody else wants them, but they are technically for sale.
Kotomi thought about it for a second.
Oh, what the hell. I'm not a fashionista. I don't think I'm going to be interested in much else on Genzo.
Kotomi also stood up and walked over to the counter. She ended up walking out of the store with the console and a few games.
It's already 4 o'clock.
Allison ended up not buying much, instead looking around at all the expensive clothes and finally finding herself a place to sit down in the food court. Of course, she knew that she wouldn't end up buying much. She was more so just taking in the atmosphere of a place where so many people cared about their appearance and the way they present themselves to the world.
So many people in fancy, cute outfits. I kind of feel out of place sitting here with just my normal jacket.
Allison was never particularly one to care about her outward appearance or presentation, and she never really understood why people would, at least not in the beginning. All of this changed when Saturday came out to her as transgender, though.
Thinking back on it, it's really been 7 years since then. Man, I don't want to think about the fact that September 2015 was over 7 years ago now.
10 years now. At first, Allison hadn't really understood the concept when Saturday had brought it up to her, but thinking about it for a little bit, it felt fairly obvious to her. Why shouldn't people get the chance to choose who they want to be? Gender, sexuality, race, religion, all of these properties don't matter as long as the person is kind and humane. That was what Allison believed, so she was relatively quick to accept who Saturday wanted to be. But both of them were still young, so the idea of harboring hate stemming from another person's identity didn't make sense to them. Truly, to be young is to be more blissful. Though Allison had always been confident about her gender and being fine with who she was on that front, Saturday's own realizations about her identity did lead Allison to think a bit on her own life throughout the years. It was through this that Allison realized she was asexual.
I remember growing up thinking, wow, all that stuff is kind of gross. And then everyone would tell me, you'll stop thinking that when you're older. And then I just never stopped thinking it was kind of gross.
Allison had struggled with that for a long time. She had felt like she wasn't seeing what everyone else saw. She was defective, or something was wrong with her. Saturday, helping her out on her own journey of self-discovery, was what made her fall in love in the first place. Even from the start, Allison and Saturday had always been the most important person in each other's lives. One might wonder how it took so long for their true feelings to blossom. Suddenly, Allison's phone buzzed. When she read the chat log on her lock screen, she couldn't help but burst out into smug laughter.
How do you leave the subway?
Follow the yellow exit signs. Heading up.
No, like... What does the exit gate want from me?
Put your ticket in, and it will open and shoot it through.
Was I supposed to get my ticket back from the station I put it into? Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. It comes out the other side.
Oh. Uh-oh.
With a helpless grin, Allison stood up from the food court. It looked like she would have to rescue Saturday from the Ginzo metro station.
Utmost connection. Ari and Chio go over the case. Oh, so this is their thing. Cool.
I don't know.
Dear Mayan Summer.
8? That's a big number.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna go to the restroom and get some water.
All right.
I'll be back.
Not doing too well.
I'm back.
Alright, welcome back. I'm still failing miserably at this solo.
Hey, you've gotten to 65% so far. There's still more song. 70%? 75%?
Yeah.
81%? Give or take.
Alright. Let's see what Chio and Ari are up to. Utmost connection. Ta-da! This is exactly what we need.
Gio carried a large corkboard into the room. Ari looked at her with an exasperated glare.
Seriously? What? I've always wanted one of these, and your notepad is very clearly running out of space.
Ari looked down. It was true. Her notepad had been her primary method of taking notes since she started working as a detective. It was almost completely filled up. She sighed.
Okay, one more time, from the top. We know that Suki went to work, disappeared on her lunch break, boarded a ferry, and went to the shrine, and then... nothing. Do we even have anything else?
Gio thought to herself for a second.
Nothing I can think of, unless you count the fact that the universe is conspiring against us. The fire without a source and the coincidental cave-in are kind of suspicious, don't you think? What? You think that there's a god out there that's pissed at us?
She had said it as a joke, but Gio didn't flinch or laugh.
At this point, would you be surprised? It all seems fake, I guess. Or like we're following a trail of breadcrumbs that stay far enough from the truth for us to follow it without question. That's an interesting take, actually. Do you think...
At that moment, the door slammed open, and Chio and Eri both jumped. Allison, Kotomi, and I walked into the room.
Oh, okay, so it's... Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
welcome
this is
back.
why I thought they didn't have us.
Oh, welcome back. How is Ginza?
So cool! We got a lot of fun stuff, and I definitely did not get lost in Ginza Station on the way back. It didn't happen.
Allison? Kotomi? That happened.
I glared at them, and then carried the bags full of apparel and goodies that we bought over to the kitchen counter. Kotomi slumped over onto the couch, absolutely exhausted. Allison, on the other hand, noticed the comically oversized corkboard and started fawning over it.
Whoa! That's the biggest corkboard I've ever seen! And you've organized it so well. Are these texts color-coded? Oh my god, they're organized to date follow in alphabetical order? This is the most beautiful thing I've ever laid eyes on.
Harry and Kotomi looked at the strange turn of character with confused expressions, while I stood in the corner just smirking. Even Chio is surprised by her strange passion for corkinization.
Yeah, and the verticality shows approximate time. I have it looping from around 7 a.m. to the top at 6 a.m. at the bottom, because of the lowest concentration of events. So it leads to the most coherent organizational structure. Oh my god, yes!
She's gonna be at this for a while.
I decided to leave the two of them to their excited ramblings about organizations in Cork. Harry walked over to me.
So, what did the two of you manage to figure out while we were gone? Anything new?
Harry sighed.
Nothing, unfortunately. We were spitballing a few theories, but unless you have a good explanation for the random acts of nature impeding our progress, we've kind of hit a roadblock. I think we need to look at some of the lesser places of interest in Tokyo area and hope to find a new trail.
I was kind of expecting that, honestly. But I have good news! I got you a plush while we were in Ginza.
I shuffled around a bit before pulling the plush in question out of my bag, a crudely drawn cat vaguely shaped to be huggable.
I will cherish this greatly.
Eri quickly scurried off to her spot to find a spot in the room to act as a pedestal for it.
Oh,
I'm glad she likes it.
I feel like it's the first time I've seen that sprite.
It
Interesting.
might be.
Why is Kotomi glaring at us?
The next time I glanced over, I saw her placing what I can only assume is an offering bowl in front of it. She placed a handful of coins from her purse. It's strangely sweet seeing this side of Eri, but it's strange seeing this side of Eri, but it's sweet. Looking back at the corkboard, Chio was exasperatedly guiding Allison through every single note placed on it, seemingly running out of stamina. Allison seemed to be none the wiser to this, though.
I guess I'll clean myself up a little.
I walked into the washroom and splashed some water on my face. When I was washing my hands, however, I felt a vibration in my pocket.
My phone? Who could that be?
I fumbled around in my jacket pocket and pulled out my phone, but I didn't have any notifications. Then it slowly dawned on me that I didn't have vibration notifications turned on my phone in the first place.
What's going on here?
Reaching into my pocket again, I pulled out my other phone, the burner that Eri had given me. Maybe it wanted to let me know the battery was dying. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The display read one new message.
Huh? That's not possible.
I opened the rudimentary messaging app and opened the unread message. When I saw what was in it, I froze.
Hexadecimal? Is this some kind of prank?
Of course, the hexadecimal wasn't what caught my eye first. The sender was... my own phone. I rushed back into the living room, out of breath. Allison was done with her corkboard fantasizing and was sitting on the couch with Kotomi. All of them looked up at me.
Should probably go back and write whatever that was down if they don't explain it right away. I accidentally skipped it too quickly. Saturday?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's wrong?
My phone. There was a message, and
Sensing that I was panicking a bit, Allison stood up and walked over to me.
Come on, sit down. What happened?
I sat down on the couch and exhaled. I explained the text message that appeared on my burner phone with myself listed as the sender. Ari frowned.
Yeah, by all means that shouldn't be possible. I don't think I have to ask you if you were actually the one who sent the message.
yeah, of course I wasn't.
I'm more concerned about the message contents itself. That's readable hexadecimal. Most of the bytes are within the lowercase ASC2 range. Yeah, you're right. I'll transcribe it.
Ari took out her phone and plugged the hexadecimal into an online tool.
It says for the report, fourth report, MP4. A file name?
My blood ran cold. There was only one thing this mystery person could be hinting at by sending us only a final name. Sure enough, it led to a video on the Shrine Report XYZ site, which presented a similar kind of puzzle to the original video from way back in the summer. We spent a good hour or so trying to solve the cipher. It led to an address and a time, similar to the original video, an empty lot near Shinjuku Station, and the time of 8:15 p.m. on November 19th. Tomorrow. We all went silent after that. It was clear what the message was asking us to do.
Okay, if no one else is going to say it, I will. This is totally a trap, right? Definitely, but also one I'm not sure we can afford avoiding. Normally I'd investigate with backup, but we don't have that luxury.
Harry stood up from the couch and clenched her fist.
Chio, would you mind accompanying me tomorrow, in case it's dangerous? You're the oldest one here. I'm sorry I have to involve a civilian in a situation like this, but I need backup of some kind, and you're definitely the most able to fend for yourself. Of course, Eri.
I stood up, protesting.
Hold on. Why just you two? I know it's dangerous, but this message was directed at me, right? They definitely want me there.
Because if it's a trap, we'd be bringing you directly into harm's way.
Isn't that my choice to make, not yours? I understand, but please, I want to know the truth.
There's no convincing you otherwise, is there? Sat, are you sure you want to do this? I don't want something to happen to you.
I'm sure. Please let me come. This feels like the culmination of everything that's happened these past few months. I'm begging you guys.
You're right, I guess. But I'm coming with you.
Harry started protesting, but stopped herself.
Hold on, never mind. But you two are going to be on the tight leash, okay?
Allison and I both nod. Harry knew by now that the only person as stubborn as I am is Allison, and it'd be a waste of energy trying to fight us. But we also know that Ari just wants us to be safe, so we don't usually go against her wishes unless it's really important.
It's settled then. If we leave by 7:30, we can get there at the designated time easily. I suppose you're gonna want to come, Kotomi? Of course I am. My best friend and my sister are going to the enemy's nest, and you want me to stay home twiddling my thumbs? Not happening.
Kotomi's determination was unwavering, something that we rarely saw from her. But she knew how to stick to her beliefs when it came down to it. It was one of the reasons we got along so well in the first place.
Very well. Until then, let's try not to worry. Fear is the mind. Something. Interesting. Into the sunrise. Saturday visit the Sunrise Foundation at night.
This must be a really long chapter then, because it's into the sunrise, but it starts at night. Ooh, is a good one.
Stella, Cyclical Rebellion. Anarchic Light. Interesting. Alright.
I like
into the
that.
sunrise. Said I visit the Sunrise Foundation at night. Let's do this.
We had tried to take our mind off of what was coming, but it was a fruitless effort.
Let me know when you think there is a good stopping point, in case when you're ready to go and stuff.
Yeah. I will do that.
Okay, sounds good.
Once again, this chapter is weird, so
Okay.
I think things will be fine.
All right.
It was approximately 90 minutes before the time specified in the puzzle video, and I was sitting on the bed in my guest room in Chio's apartment. I wasn't sure how to explain the feeling, but it felt like everything was converging to this single night. I wasn't sure if I was ready to find the answers that were waiting for me, but the video's message appearance had made it plenty clear that I no longer had any choice in the matter. The door opened, and Allison walked in.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I am. I'm just nervous.
She sat down on the bed beside me and rested her head on my shoulder.
I'd be more surprised if you weren't nervous. I'm nervous too. I think everyone is, but I doubt that you've got it worse. But I don't doubt that you got it worse. So much of this is centered around your own feelings. I guess it's just important that I make sure you know that I'm here for you if you need me for anything. Ever.
I think that's the main reason I've been able to come so far.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
She was hiding it, but I could tell that got her all flustered. She had the oddly insecure side to her compassion.
At first, I wanted to pretend that everything was okay. All those months ago, on the day that ended in the museum fire. I hurt you and myself by trying to force myself to believe I was doing better than I was. So, I started trying to be more honest, open up more when I was feeling out of it.
I've worried a little all this time that your high spirits over these past few months have been the result of you putting on a brave face.
I'm worried about that too. It's way too easy to fall into unhealthy habits without realizing it. But when I took the time to analyze the situations I was in, I found that it was all true. I was able to live out some of my most true months this past fall, even despite my life being completely upended ever since the summer. And well, yeah, I owe some of that to Eri and Kotomi and even Chio. I think most of it was because of you.
You flatterer. I'm not special. There are tons of girls like me.
Whether that's true or not doesn't change anything, because I don't have this kind of connection with any of them.
Fair enough.
Glancing at Allison, she buried her head in my shoulder, obviously not expecting a wholehearted answer to her joking expression. Her joking question.
You've changed too.
Have I?
Absolutely you have. The Allison of Summer 22 would have told me that there's absolutely no way we should pay any mind to the puzzle video. I don't know if you realized it, but at some point, your goalpost shifted from trying to stop me from action to being there for me when action arises. And that helped me a lot. Seriously.
I think that after the museum incident, and then especially the cave-in, I just kind of realized there was no turning back. That really was the turning point.
Hey, that's what Chapter 2 was called.
I really wish you'd give yourself more credit.
It's no big deal, really. So I don't think I deserve any kind of special praise.
I leaned over and planted a kiss on her cheek.
Well, you're getting it anyway. What a shame. How do you vocalize that kind of sound with your mouth? You gotta tell me.
Maybe once you tell me how you vocalize a tilde.
Both of us laughed and sat in silence for a little longer, reveling in the moment as if the world was going to end in a matter of seconds. But the peace could only last so long. My alarm went off.
Time to get going.
Yeah, it is.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not.
That's okay. I'll be right with you every step of the way.
I know. Thank you, Abby. I love you.
I love you too. Now let's not keep Chio waiting.
We stood up and walked out of the room. I flicked the lights off with the switch on the wall, and as I did, I took one more glance around the room.
How many things will have changed by the time I step into this room again?
The location specified in the video message was right by Shinjuku Station, so it was only a short train ride away from Ikebukuro. As we rode on the train, Eri briefed us on the backup plans in case something went awry.
Obviously, our burner phones are the best way to send out any kind of SOS. I'm assuming all of you brought yours? Yeah, we did, but, why are you only checking this now? Shouldn't you have double-checked before we left? You're right, but it seems like it all worked out in the end, so there's no need to dwell on it.
I could tell from her tone that she had also spent most of the time before we left preparing herself mentally for whatever was about to come. Over the past few months, I've come to realize that Eri is much less steel-willed as she seems, probably even more fragile than Kotomi. She's gotten better at opening herself up to those insecurities, but it's a process, so she's still the hard-ass police detective who isn't allowed to emote at times. I looked around at my friends. A thought entered my mind that I might not get to see one, or all of them after the events of tonight, but I dismissed that thought from my mind. Allison saw me tense up slightly anyway, though, and gripped my hand tighter, as if to say, it's all going to be okay in the end. That more or less helped me to fully calm down. Though the train ride was short, it felt like it lasted an eternity. But even eternity reaches the end of time eventually, and sure enough, we got off the metro line at Shinjuku Station and walked up into the busy streets of the red light district.
What's the red light district?
The location.
What is that? Nothing.
It's yeah,
Oh,
I do not know.
I'm thinking of
offhand.
Gaslight District. Okay, never mind.
The location we'd been pointed to was visible immediately after leaving the station. It was...
Wait, what's going on here? I thought that it was an empty lot on the map.
It definitely was. Look at the gate. Looks like the gate has a lot in open. Almost like we're being welcomed in.
My uneasy feelings rose up briefly, but I gripped Allison's hand harder, and we walked forward through the fence surrounding the building that shouldn't be there. The building was tall, easily about 15 stories. When we walked around the back, there was a plate near a door that made me freeze in my tracks.
The Sunrise Building?
Hearing my shock, Eri, Kotomi, and Chio hurried over. Sure enough, the back entrance has a sign above it that read Sunrise Building, rear entrance.
The Sunrise Foundation again. They've been all over this mystery, and now a building with the same name has appeared on a lot that we were led to believe was empty? It shouldn't be a stretch to say that something's up here. You're right. Why didn't this building come up? And something else is bothering me.
The four of us looked at Eri.
What is it, Ari? When we were walking in here, I saw one of the pedestrians look at me and overheard them say something along the lines of, "Why are you going in that empty lot?" You think that they have this huge ass... You think they can't see this huge ass building? For some reason? It's not impossible. As if to them it doesn't exist.
So then why can we see it?
Because I have allowed you to. The five of us jumped at the sudden arrival of a voice unfamiliar to us. Spinning around really fast, we saw a woman in a long dress leaning against the side of the building.
Who are you? Are you?
Relax, I'm not your enemy. I'm the one who called you here in the first place.
Hmm. I take it that means you would be Kisho Biori then.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the one who sent you that message.
How did you get the contact to our burner phones?
Careful surveillance.
Have you been stalking us?
No, are you done with the questions? I called you here because I thought it might be time for you to learn the truth.
And why would we listen to you?
Because you came all this way out in the first place. Why did you do that if you have no intention of listening to me?
Because we didn't know there was someone we would be meeting. Well, yeah, I guess we kind of did. Never mind. That was fun improv.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess it was never expressly stated.
It's okay, Chio. So, Kisho,
What do you know? Do you know where my sister is? You could say that, yes.
Am I going crazy? Is this not Dawn?
No, this is Keisha. Look at the text box.
It had 4 question marks, right? Okay.
No, it's got 5 letters. Kisho.
You're the worst.
What?
What's with the vague response?
I think it would be better if you saw for yourself. That's why I led you here. The truths lie in this building, normally obstructed from what you can see. So I have allowed you all to see it.
is it like some optical illusion thing? No, that can't be right.
For now, I just need you to trust me. You'll find all of the answers you're looking for in here.
So let's go.
You can get us in?
Yes, hurry up now. With an attitude that clearly said she had no time for fooling around, Keisha walked to the door and opened it up. It appeared to already be unlocked, but that couldn't be right.
I tried to open that earlier, and it was locked. I didn't hear her unlock it either. Just who is this girl?
The 5 of us exchanged a worried but determined glance.
As we discussed, Kotomi, I'd like you to stay outside here and notify us if anything goes awry. You're still okay with that, yeah? Yeah, I am. I'll message you immediately if something pops up. You 4 ready?
No, not at all. But let's go anyway.
I let go of Allison's hand, and Allison, Eri, and Chio walked toward the door. As I started following them, Kotomi tapped my shoulder.
Hey, Saturday? Come here for a minute.
What's up?
Noticing that I'd stopped, Allison turned around inquisitively. I assured her I'd be right there and ran back over to Kotomi.
I know you already know this, but in case you need a reminder, don't ever feel like you have to push yourself too hard in order to find answers, okay? It's okay to feel overwhelmed and take a step back.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Kotomi.
Yeah. Good luck in there.
I rushed back over to where the others were standing, and we entered in the door, following the strange woman who called herself Kisho Biori. Kotomi stayed behind. How suspicious. The lobby, as we could see from the windows outside, was dark. In fact, none of the lights in the entire building appeared to be on, which further helped to drive home the uneasy feeling that we were inside a building that shouldn't exist. Good, you're here. Where did Kotomi go?
We decided before coming here that if it came to us having to infiltrate some kind of building, she'd remain to look out outside. That's not a problem, I assume.
Chio spoke matter-of-factly with a cold tone I'd never heard from her before. She clearly didn't trust Kisho, and for good reason. Kisho sighed, but ultimately didn't argue back. Yes, that's fine. We should be quick regardless. I can't keep this up all day.
Keep what up? You're gonna have to start actually explaining, you know? If you're gonna bring us out here to a building that nobody else can see and make us infiltrate it with you, the least you could do is lower your condescending attitude.
Keisha looked like she wanted to snap back against that, but ultimately decided against it. Fine. This building is the headquarters of the Sunrise Foundation, which is, under almost all circumstances, hidden from the public eye. What I want to show you is on the top floor, which we can get to via the elevator.
Sunrise Foundation? What is it really? There's no way it's just a geology corporation, and it's all over this case, even from the very beginning.
Of course, it's not a geology corporation, but there's a reason everyone is led to believe it is. I think it would be better to explain it on the elevator ride up. Mind following me a little longer?
Yeah, fair enough.
The four of us followed her as she led us down a few hallways to a staff elevator. Despite the lack of lights in the building, the power to the elevator seemed to be working. After a short while, the door made a ding sound and opened up.
Ah, got light!
The elevator blasted us with light. It looked like light was on in there, at least. We followed Keisha into the elevator. Inside the elevator, Keisha pressed the button for the topmost floor, floor 17. The elevator whirred a bit, and then the doors closed. It felt as if the last thing connecting us to the world had been sealed shut, and the elevator cabin began to ascend.
I suppose I'll ask you outright.
Do you know what the Duskbreaker project is?
Dusk? What now?
Upon hearing the word Duskbreaker, I felt a minor headache coming on, but I managed to push through. The Duskbreaker project is, well, in a way, you could say it's the true purpose of the Sunrise Foundation, in its entirety. The geology business is a front of some sort, hiding what the company is really all about.
So, what is the Dustbreaker project? Why is it so secret that they have to fake being a geology company to hide it?
Well, they don't fake being a whatever. The Duskbreaker project, or just the Duskbreaker, as it's usually called, is effectively a neural interface supercomputer.
Neural? Like, it messes with your brain?
Well, in a sense, yes, but that's not what its main purpose was.
So, what was its main purpose?
Keisha stopped for a moment, as if for the first time she was hesitant on whether to continue. I gripped Allison's hand again, and she gripped back as to assure me that everything was going to be okay. Keisha finally spoke again. The Duskbreaker's main purpose is a world simulation device. If you've ever seen that movie from the 80s, The Matrices, it's like that.
Matrix. I think it's a Matrix pun.
Whatever the plural for matrix is, or matrix. Because I know one matrix is multiple matrices,
Oh,
so I guess it would
that.
just be... Yeah. Well, not exactly. Just the part where it's simulating a world. Nobody was really sure what to say. What Keisha was saying was so outlandish, but all of us knew deep down she had no reason to lie. Why we were so sure of this, I still don't know. But nobody tried to call her bluff, or tell her she was full of shit. This technology was, obviously, very secret. I'm not privy to knowing why the Sunrise Foundation was formed, or why they sought to create such a powerful machine. But the facts remain that the Duskbreaker does exist, and it's at the center of everything relating to your sister's disappearance Saturday.
To tell the truth, even from the start, I knew that there had to be some big company involved with all this. But a world simulation is... I didn't even know humanity had the technology to make something like that.
Well, you could always ask the lead engineers. Both of them are in this elevator.
What?
All of us jumped. We had been less surprised by the revelation that a world simulator exists than we even thought we'd be. Nobody seemed prepared for that one. The lead engineer on the project was Keisha Biori, myself, And the assistant lead engineer was one Chiyo Sakamura.
What? Me?
Everyone turned to look at Chiyo, who seemed the most surprised out of anyone.
Are you serious? Why don't I remember this?
Do you not? It makes sense that you would forget the exact details, but you yourself said that you had memories of working at the Sunrise Foundation, didn't you? It was said so casually that most of us didn't think much of it, but Eri, being the natural detective that she was, didn't let that slip up pass.
Hold on. How do you know about that? We just met you today, and Chios definitely didn't talk about that any time within the last few weeks.
Wait. Hey, yeah, that's not right. What are you playing at, Kisho?
Who are you? You're not Kisho.
As if the next domino in a row of revelations had fallen over, all of us turned to look at Chiyo, surprised.
It's true that I have fragments of memories of working at the Sunrise Foundation. I don't remember working at any Dustbreaker project, and I don't know why the hell I would have forgotten. But I do remember one Keisha Biori, and she was not you. So who are you?
The woman, who had until this point called herself Keisha, sighed as if she was minorly inconvenienced. It was the most believable way to get you into the Sunrise building. I just took the most logical path.
You tricked us! What the hell are you going to do to us?
Nothing. I'm doing what I promised you I'd do. Showing you the truth. This was just the best way to present it. Of course, I knew this would happen as well. It happens every other time.
Every other time?
You'll see. Look, I know it's a lot to ask for your trust after lying about my identity, but I'm not here to be your enemy. The answers for everything are at the top of this building. Answers about the Duskbreaker, answers about your conflicting memories, and answers about how all of this ties back to your dear sister.
This is all getting revealed pretty early on. Like, I kind of figured this was where it was going, but I didn't think this would be Chapter 3 revelation. Interesting.
Yeah. Seems fast.
Yeah, it does.
Almost too fast.
It really, really does.
As if on cue, the elevator finally stopped its ascent, and the doors opened into a dark hallway. If you must call me anything, Dawn will suffice, but we have to be quick, because the real enemy will catch on before long. Hurry along now. The woman who now wore the name Dawn walked into the shadows of the lightless hall toward the end. I felt Allison's hand grip mine again.
Are you doing okay, Seth?
I think so. For now. It's a lot, but I can do it. I have to do it.
I'm still here by your side.
Yeah.
The four of us left the elevator into the hallway. The door closed behind us, casting our entire sight into complete darkness once more. There was just enough light for us to make our way down the narrow hall. Though there were doors on either side of us, none of the nameplates had anything written on them, giving the impression that this floor was not to be used by anyone. Finally, we caught up with Dawn. She stood in front of a large double door at the end of the hallway, seemingly waiting for us and double-checking something. This is the only office on this floor that's occupied. It's the president's office.
As in, the president of the Sunrise Foundation?
Yes, this is his office. It's the first truth governing everything. Are you prepared? I stopped for a second, almost instinctively answering yes, and took the time to steady my breathing. I grounded myself using the warmth of the hand of the person I loved, and exhaled.
Please open the door.
Dawn seemed to understand my answer. She pushed the double doors open and invited us inside the office. The office, like the hallway and lobby, was shrouded in darkness. Dawn pulled out what seemed to be a miniature flashlight. She walked to the front of the desk and leaned against it, facing me. Saturday, do you know who the founder of the Sunrise Foundation is? Did I? I thought about it. I should know this, but everything in my mind is screaming at me that I don't. It doesn't make sense.
I don't think I do.
I see. Then, take a look. She stepped aside and threw me the flashlight. I caught it and turned it on, pointing it at the desk where she was just leaning. The light illuminated a small nameplate on the desk, adorned in a sun-related decor. The nameplate read, Setsuke Tasogare.
Setsuki,
Of course I knew whose name this was. Setsuki Tasogare. My father.
My dad is the president of the...
My breathing intensified. My heart rate rose rapidly. Sensing that I was beginning to fall into a panic, Allison rushed over to the front of the desk where I was standing and took the flashlight from me. Placing her hand back in mine and squeezing it tight, I breathed.
Setsuki Tasogare is my father, and he's the president of the Sunrise Foundation.
Though this should have been a major revelation, nobody in the room was losing their mind from the shock. On the contrary, it felt like a lot of things finally clicked into place.
God, yeah, that seems right, doesn't it?
I turned to face the woman calling herself Dawn.
Dawn? What's going on with our memories? Why do these conflicts keep happening? And why does it feel like all of our memories have been overwritten and we're just now getting them back?
Dawn hesitated, a rare sight from her, but finally she spoke. I think it would be best if we continued. There is still more to be seen. At those words, something finally boiled over inside Allison, and she snapped.
Okay, I've had enough of this. How long are you going to string us along and force us to play by your rules? Even though you're trying to show us the truth, you're doing it in a way where we're more or less just toying with where you're more or less just toying with our emotions. Is this like a game to you? Do you actually care about Saturday learning the truth so that she feels better? Or is this all just some kind of fucking story to you? Did you not even do you not have even a bit of compassion to give her the time for a goddamn day?
Dawn stood up from her leaning position against the wall, angry.
How dare you? I'm trying to help you, and this is what I get? We only have so long before the World Keeper takes notice of what's going on, and we get sent back to cycle start.
Even now? Even now! You keep spouting off this shit like you expect us to understand but when we actually ask for clarification, you just say, the answers are up ahead, ooh, and expect us to just be okay with that? What the hell is a cycle? Who was the World Keeper? Can you finally answer some of our goddamn questions?
As the tension in the room clearly continued to escalate, someone other than the two arguing finally spoke up.
Oh, okay, Allison, let's calm down. I understand your anger. And Dawn, it's time for you to give us some answers. On our terms. Because you clearly benefit from us knowing the truth in some way, and if you don't start actually listening, we're heading right back down where we came from.
Ari was surprisingly good at diffusing this kind of situation in her own unique way. She spoke to Allison with compassion and understanding, and switched to being cold when addressing Dawn near instantly. It was one of the things I most respected, and kind of feared about her. Dawn seemed completely unbothered, though. She changed back to her normal, serious self instantly, so fast that it almost felt like she had never lost her temper to begin with. It felt inhuman.
Dawn, I'd like to ask you a question about the Dustbreaker. It's a hypothesis I've come up with all of the context you've given us. All you have to do is confirm or deny if I'm correct.
Yes, I can do without the in-depth explanation. I'll answer.
Before I ask, Saturday.
Harry turned to face Allison and I.
She turned the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, she was facing the other way before, so it's either turn or face Allison and I.
Depending on the answer to this question, everything could change. And I do literally mean everything. Are you sure you'd like to stay in this room? Or should I wait to ask?
After a few more deep breaths, I answered honestly.
I'm staying. Please ask your question. I want to know.
Very well.
She turned back toward Dawn.
Between all of the insane things you've mentioned tonight, and looking at the state of this building itself, a lot of things don't make sense. But there is one possibility that makes everything fall into place. It's insane and unreal, and only as insane and unreal as a device capable of simulating the entire world is. The question I'm trying to ask is, this world that we live in, that we walk around in, that we're standing in right now, is this the real world or the simulated world inside the Dustbreaker?
There was a short moment of silence. I let out a completely forced laugh.
Come on, Ari. Really? I mean, I don't doubt this Duskbreaker thing exists, but there's no way, right?
Dawn, however, sighed. I suppose the answer you're looking for is that this is the simulated world of the Duskbreaker, though describing it as not being the real world is a bit of a false descriptor.
I see. Chio, please move Saturday and Allison to the corner over there.
Chio jumped at the sudden request. Allison and I were too stunned to refuse or even say anything at all. We moved into the corner of the room. It all happened in an instant. Ari whipped out a small pistol out of her jacket and pointed it directly at Dawn.
I'm going to ask a few more questions and you're going to answer them. Understand?
Dawn, however, did not seem fazed by the gun pointed directly at her chest.
You know, I wasn't sure if the right time to bring this up, so I'm sorry if this is another major revelation. But there was something I noticed when investigating Suki's office, all those months back that I never talked about.
Huh? What is it?
A whole lot of books about something called the meta-layer concept. It's all pseudoscience mumbo-jumbo, and if I apply it to this situation, a lot of things suddenly make sense. Basically, it talks about the idea of a world layers, the idea that there are dimensions above us that look down on us as we do to fiction. I can't say I understand much of it at all, but, well, a lot of things that would make sense if this woman in front of us was from a different world. Are you serious? How is that even possible?
On side.
Not only is it possible,
No, that's me.
Not only is it possible, but she's right. I'm not originally from this meta layer. None of us are. This is a simulated world, not a natural meta layer. Look. The moment the word look left her mouth, she was gone. In an instant, she appeared behind Ari and snatched the gun out of her hand, then seemingly zipped back to her original position. Ari flinched and dropped her composure for a second, but steeled herself again. To you, it probably seems like I just teleported now, right? In a sense, I suppose you could call it that. But in reality, all I did was manipulate my own properties, notably my timescale and coordinate position. It would take way too long to explain how the Duskbreaker works, and it's not too important for what I'm trying to achieve for you to know the exact details of it. What you need to know is how we all got here in the first place, why we're here, why the Duskbreaker was turned on. Dawn nonchalantly walked over to the desk that belonged to my dad. She opened a drawer and hit some kind of hidden switch, and in an instant, a loud crumbling sound could be heard. The bookcase at the back of the room began to move ever so slightly, revealing a hidden elevator door. Dawn turned to look at me, still unsure how to react to anything that had happened in the past 10 minutes. This elevator leads to the Sunrise Foundation's hidden basement. Inside of it, the room where the Duskbreaker is stored in the real world. Where the truth lies. We will wait for you down below. Please follow when you're ready. Once again back to speaking as if she was simply dishing out logistical commands, Dawn pressed the button on the elevator to call it. She disappeared as the door closed, leaving Allison, Chio, Ari, and I alone in the darkness of my father's office. A few minutes passed where nobody said anything. Finally, Aries was the one to break the silence.
I'm sorry you had to see me like that. How are you three holding up?
I tried to say I'm doing fine, but my own emotions took over, and I got choked up before I could finish. I fell to my knees on the carpet floor.
I'm so fucking overwhelmed. I don't know what the hell is even real anymore. What the hell?
Allison kneeled down to wrap her arms around me.
I'm so sorry, Sat. We can go home now if you want. It's really clear this was way above what any of us expected.
No, I want to keep going. I just need a minute.
And many more moments I was given. Kneeling on the ground, I sobbed for a good 10 more minutes. I probably would have continued for another hour if Allison wasn't right there with me. Finally, I stood up. I turned to Chio.
Chio, about your memories. Have they come back yet?
Not all of them, but I remember why we started the Duskbreaker project. What it was that the Setsuki, that your dad, wanted to achieve.
Please tell me. Please, I want to know what led to all of this.
I can't tell you the whole story because I don't know it. I'm assuming that the woman has her own side of the story to tell down in that secret basement. But from my recollection, it goes something like this. I don't think I was ever privy to what it was, but something really horrible happened in your childhood Saturday. You were traumatized really badly as a result, and spent a lot of your early years as a recluse, never going to school or making any friends. I remember Satsuki telling me a lot about those days. I think he thought it would improve over time, or maybe he thought it would improve faster than it really would. For whatever reason, Satsuki was really down when it seemed to him like you weren't feeling any better as fast as he expected you to. I don't think he wanted to rush you or anything. I don't really understand the feelings of a parent, though. Regardless, growing up and observing how much you were hurt by whatever happened to you changed Satsuki's outlook on a lot of things in life. I don't know if your memories allow you to remember, but Satsuki was a large shareholder in a lot of really big corporations around the time you were born. After it became clear to him how deeply you were traumatized, he sold a lot of his shares and founded the Sunrise Foundation.
What even is the Sunrise Foundation? It's clear that it isn't the geology company that we've all been led to believe.
This next part is complete speculation on my behalf. I think that the whole geology thing was a part of the simulated world, and not an actual part of the Sunrise Foundation as it is in reality. That sounds right, because I don't remember Satsuki ever mentioning anything about a geology front to me when I was working there. I only joined to work on the Duskbreaker project, which was the fourth major project by the company. A whole goal of the company was to experiment with alternative scientific approaches to psychiatry, basically. Trying to use technology to assist with recovering from mental health issues.
So, what was the Duskbreaker, supposed to do? It really doesn't sound like whatever it was meant to do worked correctly.
Yeah, definitely not. I can't speak to the previous 3 projects at the Sunrise Foundation, but the Dustbreaker was meant to be sort of VR exposure therapy in a way. It was meant to provide a safe, simulated environment for a subject to face their trauma. I don't like that. That idea sounds flawed from the premise alone. It probably was, but Satsuki was determined to a fault. It bordered on unhealthy obsession. I've heard a lot more coworkers who were around the company were no longer, for longer than I was, that he wasn't always like that. But I'm not sure what changed him.
Dad, what were you trying to do?
If that's the case, then how did we end up here, inside of the actual simulation itself? How do we get out of here? Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to that. That's where my memory cuts off.
Were they wiped?
No, not like the others. I think whatever it was that happened to lead to all of this was something I blocked out of my own memory.
Long silence fell over us again. Every once in a while, I felt panic creeping back into me, but I steadied my breath and kept myself grounded. Finally, I felt like I was ready.
I think it's time to go see what Dawn is trying to show me. I don't want to go alone, though. Allison, can you...
Of course I can. I'll be right here with you.
Chio and Eri, I promise we'll be back as soon as we can. Can you remain here for now on lookout? Try to get in touch with Kotomi and update her.
Yeah, of course. Saturday, whatever horrible truth is at the center of all this, I'm sorry. I helped contribute to something that led to all of this, and I can't apologize enough for that.
I sighed.
I don't have time to think about my feelings on that right now. But what matters is that you're helping us right now, so I'm focusing on that instead.
Chio nodded in understanding. I took Allison's hand again and pressed the button on the secret elevator. The door opened, temporarily bathing the room in the light that signaled our approach to the center of this world, the center of this story.
Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
We stepped into the elevator and watched the doors close, obstructing Eri and Chio from my view for what I could only pray would not be the last time I'd ever see them.
We're getting close to a stopping point, but not quite there yet.
Alright.
I like this one.
Sounds spooky.
A little. There's some spooky songs in this game.
Man, okay. So that was a bombshell. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I kind of
Questions, comments, concerns?
I kind of predicted it would be something like that, but I didn't think it would go all in on it. I thought it would be like a metaphor for all that. I didn't think it would actually be virtual reality. I thought it was like a, I don't know, but it just felt like something was off. I
Do
didn't
you
expect
remember
it
the
to be her
tutorial
dad,
at the
though.
very beginning?
Yeah,
Just think about that.
I remember it
All
saying
the different-
Dustbreaker. I should have known it was virtual reality, but I thought it was like, just like in a simulated world, like in a video game type. Well, I guess that is what virtual reality is. I thought it was more like Avatar, when you're like in a coma or something, like, and go into a world. I didn't. I guess that kind of is what worked.
That makes sense.
Being sent into
I mean,
a
think about where
fictional
we are.
world rather than
Yeah.
an actual just headset and stuff. Like DR2 in a way. That's kind of what that's the twist I was kind of expecting.
Well, isn't it really similar to DR2? What ended up happening?
I guess the
Spoilers
virtual
for that.
reality, virtual reality thing made me think it was more like just a headset video game type thing, like our virtual headset video game thing, virtual reality.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, they
guess you're right.
seemed pretty in depth. I
Okay.
didn't know that they had a headset on. But yeah, I mean, think about where we are right now. We're in a node flowchart. We have to get nodes and bytes and all sorts of things like that to progress in the story.
What are nodes? Are nodes like a computer term? I just thought they were like
Yeah.
points on a graph.
Well, that too. And then the notes in the tutorial were described as data. There's 3 types of note data.
I did not catch that one, to be fair. I definitely did not catch that.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're not revealing all the secrets this early. There's still a lot more to go.
I did not expect Saturday's parents to ever come back, though. I thought the founder was Suki.
Yeah, that makes sense. The world keeper.
Yeah,
She would keep the world of the Duskbreaker. That makes sense.
yeah, that was my understanding. But now I'm trying to figure out why Suki is kind of like put in the position of being evil, like why she's being portrayed like that. And because I think it's more like, I don't know, like she's trying to hold up to her dad's, I think she's like the newest employee for her dad's job, which is kind of obvious that's what she was, because she was at the Geology Foundation thing. So I think that in trying to do this, she was trying to stay in touch with her dad, I guess. I don't know. And just looked up to her dad a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if Suki wants her dad's approval and if her dad's like kind of setting all this up, or if Suki is acting rogue and this was not part of her dad's plan.
Yeah. That is the million-dollar question.
Well,
What are these characters' motivation? We don't even know Dawn's motivation. We just know that she has some kind of interest in sharing this.
I honestly kind of just assumed Dawn was the AI. Like, I didn't even think this would be an actual character. I thought it was like a stand-in for the AI.
Yeah. Like error detection, error protection.
Yeah, I generally don't know what her purpose is. If it's not AI, because I feel like that's been kind of debunked a little bit with how she's actually been like floating around and stuff. But I thought for sure she was like the computer AI, just personified. I don't know.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, there is that special space that only Dawn and Suki have access to.
So why is it that they have? Why is it that? I'm trying to figure out what connects Dawn and Suki together.
Yeah.
I generally think Dawn is just like AI gone rogue and is trying to help the people out, but that doesn't feel right.
Well, shouldn't the AI be trying to help them in the first place? This entire thing was supposed to help whoever was put into it, right?
I feel like it would depend on who was running the show. My current theory is that their dad is dead, and is their dad dead? I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but I think my current theory is that their dad.
I don't know if it was confirmed or not.
I think my theory is that their dad is dead, and Suki is trying to run the company now, and Dawn is her dad's last-ditch effort to save Saturday from whatever this is that Suki is trying to set up, and that Suki is kind of like doing some evil mastermind plan and, like, I guess killed her father or something like that. That doesn't sound right, but along those lines.
Well, something tragic happened to Saturday when she was younger.
Yeah.
That was
But
his entire
Chio,
logic.
Chio mentioned that her father was working with her and that he was around for that. So I don't think it was her father's death that was a traumatic event. It could be the mother's death,
Right.
but I don't think it. But I don't know. The mother hasn't been mentioned at all.
Exactly.
I feel like if it was his mother's death, he wouldn't be so focused on Saturday. It would be more focused on getting his wife back. I feel like that kind of trope.
Yeah, that's fair. Besides, why would Saturday be any more traumatized than
Yeah,
the incident?
I feel like they already said that he was like an absent father. He was always at work, and I think even in like the transition scene, Suki mentioned that everyone kind of came around to it. Like the transition scene where she was explaining her when she was transitioning from a into a girl, that everyone would call her Saturday except her dad. So I think that involves her mom in that section, that her mom was fine with calling her Saturday because she was around so often, and it was only her dad that was absent. So I think her dad being absent is a big part of the story of why he is not understanding what Saturday needs and is trying to fix her in all the wrong ways, and I think that it's leading to some kind of miscommunication between them, and that ultimately ends in his death. And I think now he's living on through Dawn in some kind of way, and is trying his best to fix his mistakes. That's kind of my theory-ish right now.
Yep, it's really cool.
Altercation. The
As
truth
someone-
is seen.
As someone who has seen the truth, I enjoy these little theories.
Also, Kotomi is the big bad. Yeah.
True. She's a traumatic experience.
As we rode down the elevator, I felt a large amount of energy leave my body, and I leaned on Allison's shoulder.
Sorry. I'm just tired.
I can't blame you, but you're doing really, really good, you know? I'm really proud of you.
You're doing really well yourself. It's almost like nothing phases you.
Nah, it's a lot to take in. I think I just process stuff way more internally than you do. Not that being external about it is at all bad. Is at all a bad thing. It's just different, you know?
Yeah, I get you. The elevator plummeted into the depths of the unexisting building. It was a long, long ride. Finally, the elevator came to a stop, and the doors opened into a dark hall. The basement hallway of the Sunrise building, though it was as dark as the other halls we traversed on our way up to the 17th floor, had a completely different atmosphere.
Does this background look familiar?
It does. It looks like the
Looked like
location
a hall you
that
might see in
Dawn
a
and
horror
Suki.
video game.
It looked like the hall that Suki and Dawn were meeting in the first thing.
Yep.
In the beginning of
Looked like
end
a
of
hall
chapter
you might
1.
see.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Silent Hill.
That is correct.
I haven't played any
Silent
of those games,
Hill.
unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know what games you're talking about. Silent Hill is legally distinct.
Whatever.
Allison and I walked along the dark hallway. Our footsteps reverberated across the walls as if judging us for being in a place we never should have ventured. But we were here, and we weren't turning back until we found the horrible truth that this place housed. At the end of the hall was a single door. The woman who had turned our lives upside down in just a single night was standing in front of it, waiting. Dawn opened her mouth as if to say something along the lines of, "Took you long enough getting here," but decided against it.
I realize I never fully answered the question. So I think that the reason why, if Dawn is an AI, she would be going against the wishes of the program is because the dad kind of hacked into it after his demise. Like, this is Dawn is acting incorrectly,
Uh,
and it's that this is what the creator wishes for her to do now that he's passed away, and this is his way of getting through to Saturday. That's why I think that
so you
Dawn.
think that,
Hmm.
you said after death? You think this is some FNAF stuff where the Duskbreaker is possessed by Saturday's dad's ghost?
I was more thinking like a kill switch or some kind of. I wouldn't go with FNAF, but I was thinking more like trapped in a computer, I guess. And this was the only way of
Yeah.
being able to reach her.
Fair enough.
I don't know. But yeah, I think that's why if
You don't
Dawn
know.
is an
That is
AI,
correct.
I think that's why if Dawn was an AI, that would be why she would be going against the program of trying to help Saturday through therapy.
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense. I'm running out of time. The World Keeper has noticed what I'm trying to do.
Who is the World Keeper?
Pretty much my polar opposite. I'm here to guide you to the truth, and she's here to prevent you from finding it. I don't have time to explain anymore. I'm sorry. At this, the figure of Dawn began to flicker and glitch out. It looked as if she was disappearing from the world itself. Saturday. Inside is the truth, at the center of everything. It doesn't explain all the questions, but it's the biggest answer. It will be hard to face. But please, for your own sake, you have to... Dawn?
Dawn?
Dawn was no longer present in the room. It looked like she had been torn apart from the world itself, but given everything we've learned, that doesn't seem right.
She's probably been relocated by whatever that World Keeper thing is.
Allison and I stood in silence for a bit, waiting for her to come back, but she never did.
Do we go inside?
I don't know.
As if that was really a question. I placed my hand on the rusted door handle and turned it. The light of truth seeped out of the room. In another place, a violet-shaded shadow morphed into the fabric of the environment. I figured you'd catch on sooner or later. On the other side of the room, the World Keeper stood, anger adorning her face.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Should I be Suki? I'm assuming Suki talks
Nah.
to Dawn and Saturday a lot. I'm guessing.
Yeah, but you've also had... I mean, you've had conversations with, like, Eri and Chio and stuff.
Alright, fair enough.
I've split the characters somewhat in half.
Alright.
Why are you surprised? I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm fulfilling the reason I exist.
And you thought I would just sit here and let you put her through that?
No, but I knew I could keep you busy long enough to give me a head start.
You made her British, but not Saturday. It's just making me laugh.
Don't give me that shit. I'm trying to do just like a very dignified voice.
Gotcha.
But it does come out British.
At her furious words, Suki swung her hand around her back. A large group of energy particles formed around it, and a large glowing shape took form. It was a scythe formed of resilience to protect the order of the world, a weapon used to reap death being wielded by death itself. This cycle ends here.
Oh, now it's my turn to say my line.
Dawn raised her own arm, and in it, particles of narrative resilience to face the truth gathered. In her hand formed a much shorter but equally powerful weapon. It was a pistol, small but just as effective, like a detective might use. Dawn twirled it around and landed its aim of fire square on Suki's chest. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's a bad idea to bring a scythe to a gunfight? The opening move was made, one shot fired. Of course, that bullet was never going to hit anything other than the wall, but someone has to make the first move. Suki flew into the air, gracefully, but with an offensive intent rather than defensive. She brought her scythe down toward where Dawn was standing. Dawn dodged out of the way just in time, like she had done so many times before. Fighting continued. Seconds go by, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, full cycles, most not even reaching this point in the narrative. Slight alterations in the altercation, subtle movement changes, but the screenplay remains the same each time. After all, there's no need to sweat the small details. There isn't even any need to describe the details at all. After all, this couldn't matter to them anymore. Surely you've realized by now that all of this will never end? It was just a game. A cruel game of eternity that neither player could leave. What do you suggest we do, Liberator? We can't just abandon our purposes and give up everything we know. The World Keeper, blissful ignorance personified, the Liberator, determination of freedom personified, the ideas given life, if you could even call it that. No, this was not life. This was far worse than life, far worse than even death. It was infinity. Infinity they could never escape, fated to battle each other, the only other one who shared this infinity with them. Back in the basement of the Sunrise building, Saturday and Allison entered the room only lit by the light of a worn-out computer monitor.
It's some kind of blog?
No, don't read that! Stop! Staring down the truth, Saturday read. She read and read and read. She sobbed. She screamed. Only Allison was there to comfort her.
Why? Why? Who put us in this fucked up eternity? I want out. I want out! Please, just any kind of miracle. I don't care who.
The enter button isn't okay.
At some point, Suki's voice started coming out of Dawn's mouth. No, it was more than that. It was my voice. It was also hers. The fighting continued. The crying continued. Fates forever intertwined in a Mobius strip of life, death, and repetition.
Auto-scrolling.
Yes, only a miracle could save us now, I know. A blessing from a higher power, a gift from the heavens itself, whatever the form it could take. As I sat here, observing, all I could do was pray for a miracle. And then, everything reset once more.
And that's the end of chapter 3.
Interesting. No, it's not. You said chapter 3 was long. This is
Yeah,
chapter 3
it's
part
long.
1.
I mean, credits are rolling.
Yeah, never trust the credits. That's not true. The credits are
Wait.
typically trustworthy.
I was gonna say, the credits were right the last 2 times.
Yeah. Oh, were they there? I didn't notice them there.
Yeah,
I was just
there's
thinking
credits after every
ridiculous.
chapter.
I don't remember watching the credits.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways, who's ready for chapter 1?
Woohoo!
So, thoughts, theories, questions, comments?
Okay, so Dawn is the Liberator. Interesting. That was given to her. That was the title given to her. Okay.
Almost said it, and I caught myself at the last minute. So
I don't
I'm glad I
know
didn't.
why. If this is some virtual reality, why they would make conflicting things. Two conflicting entities in their program type thing. I understand Suki is a real person,
Yeah.
but the concept of a fictional virtual world having both a Liberator and World Ender made, those roles made, seems interesting to me. That they are, because they seem conflicting against each other for what the entire point of the program is. I might just be misunderstanding
This is true.
what it's going on, but it's interesting to me that they're at odds with each other, and it seems to be intentional on the side of the way that the virtual reality was made.
It appears you've reached the end. Is this how you want it to be? From here, the cycle resets once more, and with it, the fates of Saturday, Allison, Chio, Kotomi, and Eri follow the roulette once more. An intermission cannot breach frozen time. I warned you of this at the beginning of everything. And yet, I feel as though you may not be satisfied with this end. Well, if that is the case, there might be hope for us. Yet, scour everywhere in what you have been given up to this point. Read between the lines. Specifically, between the 19th and 20th lines. Search for something important. And then, come back here. We will surely, no, we have to create a new future. All right.
Interesting. What classifies as a lie?
This is a pretty good stopping point, but
Alright.
5 minutes from now is also a really good stopping point. So it's up to you. It's either we end with this or we end with a cliffhanger.
This kind of is a cliffhanger.
It's up to you.
It depends on if I can figure out this puzzle. My immediately thought is to just press all these black dots. Fixations for the stars. Wait, is it this?
No,
No.
that's just a story.
Oh, okay. I thought it was you have to redo the data, what was data incompatible. Okay.
Nah. Yeah, it's really funny. You don't have to get to the end of chapter 3 to finish or to find the thing that you're missing. I found it the first time I was going through, and I specifically did not say anything, and it doesn't really matter whether you did or didn't, because you have to find it now.
Interesting. I don't think pressing all the black keys is the answer.
No, it didn't. I mean, it gave you a hint, didn't it?
They said, yeah, they said check between the 19th and 20th lines. So I thought this was 19 and 20, and I just kept clicking this node.
Okay, well, is there anything else you can do between there? I mean, clearly hitting that black one isn't doing anything.
No, it just took me to singularity if I press anything. So I guess
That's true.
play singularity again? I don't know. Oh, right,
I think you're kind of close.
that means I'm not close, okay. That means didn't figure it out, okay.
You're close geographically. It's not any of the black nodes.
What is that? There it is. I was trying to figure out how
What?
to get them. This. I saw it when I was scrolling through here, and I was trying to figure out how to get that world breaker.
You just go down between 19 and 20.
I opened the door that only she and I could see. Light streamed into the room, though it immediately left when I closed the door and disconnected my room from the world.
I'm home.
Like anyone's gonna answer that. Stepping into the artificially lit room, I placed the groceries I'd obtained on the counter and flopped onto my bed. I let out a loud sigh. Then I heard a quiet pinging sound behind me. Why do you always talk to yourself like that? Nobody's going to answer. Hey, shut up. It's not part of my existence to break a habit anyway. Sitting up on my bed, I saw the tall figure of the woman who paralleled me in every aspect looking down at me with an exasperated look on her face. What are you talking about? You still haven't figured it out? Well, I won't be the one to spoil the story for you then. As silly as ever, I see. Are you taking this seriously at all? I looked at her. Even in the dim lighting of the room, I could tell she wore no emotion on her face as she spoke. How many times have you asked me that question? You know that neither of us are capable of answering that. Maybe we don't have the mental knowledge of it, but you sure as hell look tired. It's had to have been at least a few thousand cycles by now. Well, there isn't much point in baseless speculation. It's a waste of time. There was a brief bit of silence as she stood there, just looking at me. Sit down. It's the least you can do. Simulated world or not, we're still human. Don't strain your muscles standing up for too long.
So she isn't real. Interesting. She is a human.
Mm-hmm.
See.
That's what it says.
Where's the trick? Did you place a detonator on the chair? Spikes? Man, if I wanted to attack you right now, I'd have a hell of a lot of better ways of doing it. I don't have the energy. Just sit down, or don't, and strain your legs. It'd make my job easier.
Quotation
Suki,
marks.
whose actual designation was the World Keeper, took a seat and started rummaging through the bags of groceries I'd bought.
I'm trying to figure out when this simulation would have started. Like, at what point would
This is right after chapter 1. Or episode 1 of chapter 3.
What? No, I mean...
You mean like in the timeline of chapter 3?
No, I mean, like, Duskbreaker. The whole thing. When was it first in place? When was Saturday and the others put into this virtual world? What was it recently? Because I'm trying to figure out Suki's entire role here. Is Suki...
Well, Dawn said it's probably been thousands of cycles, so probably hasn't been that short of a time.
But do they age between the cycles? I didn't think they did. I thought that they were kind of just like... I assumed that they would have stayed the same age and just repeat this mystery over and over again, like the day that Suki went missing. And I think the day that Suki went missing is the day that she became the World Keeper. So I'm trying to figure out if Suki is actually like her sister, or if it's like or if she was even a person, or if she was always the World Keeper pretending to be a sister, or even just playing like a double life type thing. I don't
Well, they're
know.
both human, Dawn just said.
Yes, but that's in the world we have never seen. I'm. Just because Suki is human does not mean that she was Saturday's sister in the real world. And I don't know if she was just Saturday's sister in this in this virtual world, or if they're actually related, or how long Saturday has. I don't know. I think I'm losing my own thought process here.
There are no wrong answers. Hey, I spent money on those. Hands off.
Money that you artificially hacked into reality? Money's money! I don't want your grubby hands getting anywhere near my stuff. Thank you very much. Suit yourself. I was just seeing what someone like you would get to eat. Felt like it had been eons since I first met the woman before me, and in a way, it's possible it had, and I'd never have any way of knowing. But as far as my own memory is concerned, it'd only been about half a year. Half a year ago, I'd been vacationing in Tanegashima. When I saw her for the first time, it was the exact appearance of my old friend, Suki. I tried to speak to her, but... Sorry, who are you? I don't recognize you.
Case in point. I don't know.
Who's to say?
Half a year ago, I've been vacationing in Tanegashima. Why was she vacationing? Is she not like above? I'm trying to. Does Dawn have a life in this virtual reality, or is she just like spends all the time in that between world where she and Suki visit and only came down to interact with Saturday? Because I didn't think that.
It certainly seems like she has a life.
Yeah,
She was vacationing half a year ago in Fukushima.
Yeah, that's what made me question if she had a life or not. I didn't think that she would actually like play a role in this. I thought she was like an overseer type thing, and was like a puppet master and was just like overseeing everything. I didn't realize like she would actually go down into the world and have a role. I don't know.
Yeah, that's also fair.
Huh? It's me, Dawn. You at least remember my name, right? Sorry, I don't have any recollection of ever knowing a Dawn. Huh? That stung, but it was within the realm of possibility. It had been over 10 years since we last seen each other, but the more I thought about it, the more it began to strike me as strange, because I was even seeing her at all. Because my last memory with Suki was her unexpected death in 2010.
I thought so. So that was
Traumatic memory in Saturday's life.
It wasn't a
Despite
death,
my better
it was
judgment,
her.
I decided to investigate, knowing that I'd likely be hurt more by the unknown than by anything I could uncover.
So she goes to the beginning. So the cycle begins every time, but she does age, and this is the thing, and it's the same day, like Groundhog's Day. It's the same day being repeated over again, and while Saturday and everybody else ages, this is the exact same day that Suki went missing and died. So she's trying to solve that mystery, and then gets her memories erased every time she figures something out, I guess. And it's her trying. So this is, I think that the time is still 2010, and this was this, and Suki going to work and never coming back that day and going missing forever is what happened when Suki died. So Saturday was put into a cycle.
Keep in mind that the Wii U came out in 2016.
Darn it, you're right.
In the story that we read.
Drats. Curses. Darn it.
Specifically, the story starts in, I think, July 2022.
Darn it, you're right.
Do you think we'll ever close this loop? Well, a pretty easy way to close the loop would be for you to just forfeit your little game. I guess, but we both know that's not happening. Sometimes I wonder if an alternate way out of all of this would even be in the realm of possibility. But Suki pressed her fist down on the stone countertop. It's not possible. And any time you spend thinking about the idea of it being possible is taking away from the time you could be spending furthering your own goal. Are you talking to me, or to yourself? Suki didn't answer that. The truth would destroy you, and I'd like to think I have at least a little bit of compassion. You keep alluding to this big truth you seem to know, but I don't. It's probably the thing I'm getting the most tired of about this whole song and dance. This prompted more silence from Suki. Tell the truth, this was nothing like the Suki I'd known during my childhood. The Suki I'd known was honest to a fault. I think that sole fact about the way the World Keeper carried herself was the first nail in the coffin that had led me to become suspicious of this new Suki in the first place. After returning home from Tanegashima during the late spring, I tried to investigate the Tasagari family register, but for obvious reasons, they wouldn't let me. A Hisameru, look at it. I was about to give up and simply blame it on coincidence, but something happened that changed everything. Eh? What's going on there? I spotted something out of the corner of my eye, and when I looked at it, it went away. Well, went away wasn't a great way of putting it. More so, it returned to how it should be. It was a piece of the terrain of the world that had begun to glitch in my peripheral vision, but stopped when I focused in on it, or moved my eye. Is this... Troxler's fading? Troxler's fading? Yeah, you know. An effect where if you look at something for a while, other things in the background either blur or disappear. Ah, that. Wait, who said that? Suddenly, the entire world around me began to glow a bright light, and everything around me froze, turning into wireframe. I think I can make out a faint figure, but it's everywhere at once, above and under me, woven into the fabric of reality. What? Ah, Liberator, surely you'd understand upon seeing the scenery. Who are you? Where are you? What's happened? And then it all hit me at once. The World Keeper, the Duskbreaker, the truth about this world, the severance of emotion. It felt like my mind was going to explode from the sheer volumes of data pouring into it.
Why is the Duskbreaker purple? I thought the Liberator was purple. Why did they? Are they just the same color, or is this a hint of some sort?
I was everything. I was nothing. I was the Liberator. I was the Duskbreaker. Was I the World Keeper too? Forgotten pasts and potential futures flashed before my eyes in an instant. A city outside the confines of reality constraining my vision.
If she's the Liberator and the Duskbreaker, is that not the AI? But she said she was a person. Okay.
Was she the World Keeper too? I was Saturday.
Oh,
I was
okay.
Dawn. I was Suki. Voices that both were and weren't mine swarmed in my mind. Throughout my visions, I see a flowchart, billions of events playing out in my mind simultaneously. In every one of them, a meddling force, an oversight in creation that prevents progress. I hate what they're doing, what they stand for, but try as I might, I can't help but feel a fondness for them. What would happen if I tried to stop her? Would I be helping the burdened girl, or would I just be a pawn in some game, pretending I'm the one making the decisions? I watch the burdened girl struggle, and I can't help but love her for who she is, and feel as though it's my duty to empower her, to be the force that lets her thrive through the hardships. I see another potential future, one where there's an opposing force, a liberator. I feel fond of it too, but in a different way. I can't tell whether that's me or some other entity entirely. It doesn't act like me. It feels like it's a version of me playing a role on a stage, and my body is simply a puppet for it to act through. The voices swarming around my head come back, and I clutch it in frustration. Came back? Will have come back? Time becomes a meaningless construct, a fourth dimension in a world that so clearly to me has a fifth that I can't quite breach, a boundary I can't quite shatter. The world is a fractured mess. I feel like it's my duty to put it back together. Our duty? My sense of identity is crumbling around me, and I try desperately to hold on to who I think I was, to who I hope I will be. Okay. I think it's time that I try to make sense of all this. Between space has been added to the main menu. Discover the truth of the world hidden between the cracks.
Oh wait, did that start a scene? I thought it would lead me to a flowchart. Okay. Yeah,
Nope.
then we should.
We're not at the stopping. No, we're not at a stopping point quite yet.
Oh, okay.
Not quite yet. So, welcome to Vivid Stasis.
This is the first log filed.
This is the first log filed into the Sunrise Foundation's backup database. If there's a character you should voice, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Today is June 16th, 2015. Actually, this might be you. My bad.
Today is June 16th, 2015, and we've just moved into our new office space. Getting all the legal hogwash out of the way has been a huge hassle, but it's mostly settled. So, provided nothing arises, we should be able to start preliminary planning for the first project. Is this a new character or someone I'm already voicing or something like that?
This is Setsuki.
Okay. Setsuki? The dad? Oh,
Yep.
Okay. During the legal signings, I wondered if a brief second of it was worth doing all this. Selling all of the shares I've spent my life building up to fund a company, that's a big risk to say the least. I suppose only time will tell.
Oh, I can't wait to try to sort out all of these characters.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't think it would repeat everything. Okay.
Yeah. Alright, now we're at a stopping point.
Okay.
Welcome to Vivid Stasis. The true Vivid Stasis.
Okay.
Escape.
Alright. Sounds good. I'll have to figure what
All right.
that whole thing is about. And
What, you don't like a video game hidden in your video game?
No, I don't. I actually despise it. It's one of my least favorite tropes imaginable.
You're gonna hate this next part.
So close to getting all the ones I could unlock. Okay. Alright. I guess that's it.
Yeah. I think there's only one other character that we haven't met yet. I think most of the
Counting
pieces
Satsuki?
are on the board.
Counting Satsuki?
No, counting characters in the main story.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah. There's gonna be a
Thank you
couple different characters.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining me.
How are you enjoying it?
I'm really enjoying it so far. Oh boy. This is great. Rating list.
That's what I was telling
okay.
you about earlier. So, Unraveling Stasis is a 9.6. That's the hardest song you've done so far.
Interesting. Huh.
Alright. I guess we'll explore.